Nerdrotic.com.
See if this works. Hey, everyone. There we go. Hey, it works. Okay, yeah, I love it when my equipment stops working. My little Stream Deck just decided not to work. So I have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Diva. What a diva.
Total diva. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, everyone. Hello, all of you lovelies in the chat. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And, oh, look, there's going to be more. They're better than D cups. They're K cups.
That's right.
It reminds me, I need more coffee. More coffee. I'm pre-coffee. It's early here on the West Coast, Gary. I don't know what time zone you're living in.
I'm still living in your time zone, buddy. There's no doubt about it. I have not, I don't think there's been a night I've gotten to bed earlier than 2 in the morning. So it's brutal. It's totally brutal. Yeah, 50-something years in a certain time zone, it's a little hard to break.
Yeah, your body's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it is 12:47 here, Central Daylight Time in the United States of America, in Texas, and you're in California. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, well,
that's
sorry.
too bad.
Especially during this time of year.
Oh, my God.
Tax season.
Yeah, like nothing will change the way you see things more than writing a large check to the US government. I mean, it just I know you've done it, Gary, too. Like, it sucks. If you're a business owner, you're a small business owner, you write that big check, changes how you view everything.
Yeah, you grow up. You grow up, you know?
Oh, and there's a lot less business owners now in California.
So. There is. Which, I mean, California did it to themselves, and they used to get a good chunk of change from the small business tax. There's a small business tax. So by itself, aside from your California income tax, your California state tax, your DMV tax, everything, your gas tax. Yeah,
hey, you know how you're struggling to build your business up? Yeah, we're going to tax you.
Yeah, Brilliant. We're just going to tax you. I'm just going to leave and save 50% off life. That's what I did.
Yeah. Yes, I've signed up for so many. I use 2 different apps and a very specific credit card to save 25, 30 cents a gallon. And I never cared about that. And it's oh wait, I really need to start paying attention. There's just certain things I'm just I'm just not buying that. I'm, maybe going out to eat less a couple times a week.
Couple times.
I gotta make up for that. What did they say that inflation is 8.8%?
Yeah, it's really high.
Nuts.
It's worse than Carter. And I saw people with Jim.
But we're booming. We're booming, guys.
Yeah. Carter was trending last night. People he was a good man, except for his wife hanging out with serial killers and freaking cult leaders. Aside from that, sure, good dude. Yeah. The pictures are all over the internet, folks. I put one up on Razor Fist. She I almost said Johnny Cash's wife. I forgot Jimmy Carter's wife was with pictured with John Wayne Gacy and Jim Jones. Separately.
Wow.
Because they were both entrenched in the Democratic Party, along with Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk was a big fan of Jim Jones as well.
Wait, aren't they making a Jim Jones movie? Did I hear that Jared Leto's playing Jim Jones? Is that
wow, I think it's just Jared Leto being Jared Leto. I'm not really It's not funny. Yeah, he was called a pastor or reverend, but he was actually a socialist. Big time socialist communist. Yeah, look into it, folks. It's really dark shit. It's really, really sad shit. It didn't work out well. No, it didn't.
Not at all. Nope.
All right, so we got some pop culture. Enough of that stuff. We're going to talk about pop culture, and Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. She's terrible. She's just like she cannot help herself from rolling her eyes and stuff. It's like the jury's going to hate her.
It's a psychopath. It's like she's got no empathy. It's creepy.
And she can't even like fake it. Like, dude, just like
you're on camera.
You're on camera. You're an actor. Just sit there and go, oh, me. Oh, I'm so innocent. She can't even manage that. So yeah. That's it. But that's all I know about it. I just hope Johnny gets some justice there. But you know who's not getting justice? Lord of the Rings fans. They're not getting any justice, even though they're standing up because their dislikes are being removed. Their comments are being removed. So that's Amazon and YouTube because Amazon cannot remove dislikes. They don't have that power. And maybe they do. Maybe they get special treatment that we don't get. I don't know, guys.
Possibly, yeah. Because I mean, a lot of these websites like Twitter and Instagram have these different tiers whenever you reach a certain subscriber level or enough connection with the company itself, you get little extra toggles that you can switch and pull.
Let's be real. You're a $1 trillion company. You can get away with murder.
Yeah,
like
do whatever you
murder.
want.
You can just.
Is it true that there were 3 million dislikes on that video?
Yeah, there were 3.1 million dislikes. It's now down at a very low 1.4 million dislikes. But I got to give Disbrew credit because he was the first one who checked this out through the analytics. I followed his path, and it's very believable that that many people disliked it. It's not a mistake. I mean, it could be. I'm just going to say it could be, but it also could be real. There's a very good chance it could be real. Maybe the 1.4 million, that's bad enough. But as far as engagement goes, trailers don't get a ton of engagement usually because they are usually embedded in a website, right? But I think
you put them on Facebook and you get views just by people scrolling past it. So yeah, you get a lot of views, but you don't get a lot of comments, likes, stuff like that.
Yep. So yeah, we'll find out. I predict it'll be back down to like 100-something thousand within a week or something. But I think that's bullshit. I think it's total bullshit.
But we need like a plug-in to even like see the dislikes.
Yep.
Right. So they're actually aware that people are using the plugin to see the dislike, see the ratio, and then they're removing it just for the people who have that little plugin. It's bizarre to me. They have to be behind the scenes freaking out that the marketing for this has been it's such a misfire with the exposure of these fake scholars and fake influencers to, this sort of lackluster, the lackluster trailer. To me, I said it looked like a presentation to sell the show, but not the show. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look at our great PowerPoint, but it didn't look like what characters am I engaged in? What is this? And it was just I don't know.
Shows in general seem to be that way. Like all promo is like, what is in it? Does it have female representation? Does it have minority representation? Does it have LGBT? It's like, what is the story? What are the characters? What are they going through? Well, none of those really seem to be a focus of promotion anymore.
This is why I like movies from other countries where they don't give a fuck about stuff.
Yes.
Like that. When you see like a Korean film or a Japanese film or a Indian movie,
yeah,
they just don't care. They're like, it doesn't matter to them. I mean, I don't know. Unless you go back to like maybe the old Toho movies from the 60s where they'd throw in like a Russ Tamblyn or a Nick Adams, which is weird, but like, okay, cool. It's an international market. What was it? AIP was the company that distributed those films back in the day, at least in America. So yeah.
No, well, I mean, like it wasn't that long ago when our movies didn't care. And then we saw it trickling in, and now it's just they've just pushed the lever all the way forward. Well, it's ridiculous.
They only care about pushing agenda here, but they don't want to push the agenda overseas where it may affect box office.
Right.
Hence, you've got this Dumbledore movie coming out, which I'm going to go see it. I'm seeing it tomorrow night just because I have the AMC A list, so I can see 3 movies a week for like $25 a month. I'm not there's no sponsor. I just, I prefer to see movies with a paying audience because I feel it's a more honest reaction.
Yeah.
But like apparently there's, I don't know, it's trigger warning. There's gay stuff in it.
There's stuff.
There's dialogue that they cut out for China.
Yeah, it's so they're doing that like just right in front of everybody. And my favorite is the Black Panther Chinese poster.
Right. When they did it for Star Wars as well, they shrunk Finn down.
Oh my god!
It's like they'll do that over there, but here it's free reign. You know, people don't get up in arms. They will over there.
I've been watching other pundits' reaction to this, and it's very well. They side with Hollywood. They take a very pragmatic approach. It's just 6 seconds. It's just like 6 seconds of dialogue, guys. And you know, culturally, it's just different over there in China. Yeah, like they're imprisoning an entire city, and they want to do business over there, but then they don't want to protect little kids like 5 to 6 year olds. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because it's totally fucking hypocritical. And that's, you know, and it's not, you know, I know it's Disney and Warner Brothers, but, you know, Disney's not getting movies in China. And I mean, maybe you know some about this, Chris, but I think it's because of Chloe Zhao. I think they also Shang-Chi. I think they're also, China's pissed off at Disney for something.
Yeah, I think it's a cumulative effect of those two things. And secondarily, we talked about this when Shang-Chi came out. I think I was on FNT for that. Like, you know, how weird would it be if China made a movie with all white actors to be released in America from China? There's cultural things that just don't translate. Like, I know we've been talking about this movie RRR, and I want to talk to you about it after you've seen it. But like, what's interesting is the way that white people are portrayed in it is like, and it's British, right? They've got the British accents, and they're the villains, which is awesome because it reminds me of the original Star Wars trilogy, right? Like they're all, it's like all the villains, all the Imperials, they have British accents. And I'm like, I'm fine with it, but it's funny how they are caricatures and stereotypes. So it just doesn't translate. You know, it's always better when it's made by, you know, filmmakers from that particular area. It's just like, or that region, that country, whatever. It's more authentic. And I think the Chinese have caught on, and they're just like, they're not down with it. And
it's like the Great Wall. You know, it's like the Great Wall. It's like I wouldn't want China making a revolutionary era historical epic about America.
Yeah.
And sending it over here, you know? Like it's just be weird. Like I don't want that. I want to see cool stuff, you know, stories about China that they want to tell us. You know, like don't pander to me.
This is the thing that sucks. There is no, I mean, American film is dead. American cinema as a, like, you know, movies, like, look at the movies that were made in the 80s that were very patriotic, that were very, you know, I hate to use the word nationalistic, right? Like, I mean, you see other countries do this. They don't have a problem. This Indian film, RRR, very nationalistic, very proud, you know, it's about two actual real historical figures, and it's with a very fictionalized, over the top, practically superhero story of the two of them. But we can't make a movie like that in the United States where we're proud of, you know, the good parts of our history. At least, you know, we can look at the bad parts of our history and like, okay, we're going to learn from that. Let's not do that. Let's do that less. Let's try to improve. But geez, we can't. It sucks to me that we can't be proud of this country without being called some type of name for that, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just going to tell you guys about it because you didn't watch it because you're smart and I'm dumb.
Oh no, here it comes.
I just watched Moon Knight's 3rd episode. And it's dumb. It's just dumb. So I'm just going to point out there's one major plot point. Sorry, spoilers. There's one plot point where they need to find a location in the desert, we'll say. I won't say whose tomb it was. But they find it. Oscar Isaac's Stephen Grant goes, well, the Egyptians developed this really clever way to you know, find stuff in the sand. It's called astrology and astronomy. You know, it's you know, guided by the stars. So they have a constellation that they're following. It's not Orion, although it should have been Orion. And Stephen Grant goes, well, okay, we got the location, but that's where the stars were 2,000 years ago. So, yeah, we could be miles off. And Layla has a fucking like Marvel super duper Wakandan, shield computer out there in the middle of the desert. It's rad looking. Wish I had one. Like a super iPad that looked like it has you can see through it. It's like a science fiction-y bullshit machine.
Magic. It's magic.
But they're incapable of summoning up an app to see where the stars were 2,000 years ago. So they call Khonshu, who rewinds the sky. Fucking
man, what?
And everybody sees it. It's like, I think you're Captain America, Black Falcon, and all of a sudden you see all the stars. You're like, oh shit, I better suit up.
Probably figure out what's going on.
Shows up, serious. Nothing. It's just like, what the fuck? And I went.
You have
back
like a teenager walk past, and I'm like, oh no, I've got an app.
Maybe I missed something. Maybe they said, like, we think it's this constellation. We're not really sure. I'm like, dude, what? But that wasn't the only thing. The gods are dumb as hell. They're just dumb. They won't listen to anybody's arguments. They're just observing, imprisoned in the overvoid. And and Layla leads the show. It's for those who just don't think it's MCU. Sweet Summer Child. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. It's the 6th fucking show, dude. And they did it again. And it's so fucking funny. And I know where they're going. It's so predictable. And basically, we see Moon Knight. I'm thinking total screen time for Moon Knight is 2 minutes in 3 episodes. Maybe 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Wow.
And I'm talking about Moon Knight, not Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight popped up again. And I can't stand him. I can't, like, it was tolerable in the comics. I never loved it in the comics. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the Mr. Knight persona. I didn't totally hate the dissociative disorder, personality disorder. And there's if you've read the comics, there's a big twist coming, by the way. There's a big twist coming that, but nobody read the comics, so it'll be a twist, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But it's going to be, they're getting into a theme that's going to be, I don't know how far they're going to get into it, guys. So Layla loves Steven more than she loves Mark, but she's married to Mark. So she's going to be cheating on Mark with the same body, but with a different person. They're setting that up in a Disney Plus series.
Like a love triangle.
Like a love triangle with dissociative personality disorder. And this is how you outwoke yourself, Chris. Don't you see people fucking complaining? Like, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, it's a story. Who cares? But can't you see people complaining about this going, how dare you have her cheat on multiple personalities? He's clearly a sick man. How could you do this? This is what happens when you play woke games. You win woke prizes. I don't know if the Marvel stands will probably protect them, but
no, this is a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah. That's how they can
very
That's a good
acceptable.
Point.
Well, I did the right thing and I didn't watch Moon Knight. I only watched the first episode and I haven't watched. This is my thing with a Marvel show now is I just watch the first episode and I go, I'm just going to watch other people on YouTube talk about it, which is way more entertaining. But just overhearing you discuss all this sort of, the story and whatnot, and like the sort of drama between the characters, it sounds like a soap opera I don't care about. Like what's at stake? Why do I care? I don't know. And I just thought that a lot of the stuff with Moon Knight just looked too digital to me. So I just, it just sort of, it doesn't look real. So I think I made the right choice. I think I made the right choice to bow out.
And it's a total waste, it's a waste of Oscar Isaac. And Ethan Hawke's actually pretty decent as Harrow. I mean, he's probably the most compelling character. Although they just do really stupid, illogical things. Like they're fighting, and you need to stop Harrow, and you just let him go. And Moon Knight just lets him go, and I'm like, why did you let him go? Turn into Moon Knight, get your little freaking Moon Knight harangues, and fucking hit him in the legs, chop him in the knees. And then drag him. Imprison the guy. You need to stop him. You're going there to stop him. So you have no problem killing a bunch of other people. Just kill him. Just shoot him in the head. But they don't. So
the writers are too dumb for that. They can't figure out their own story. Man, I miss good writers, you know, just like a really great writer that has a lot of worldly experience, has met a lot of people, did things in their life. They didn't just go to college, get out with a social degree.
Yeah, I talk about this. It's like you're basically writers, their only life experiences watching other TV shows. And that's the breadth of their life experience. When you're looking at, I'm talking about like new writers in the space, whereas like there's two main things. One, lack of life experience. And I noticed this like when I was a parent, when my kids were young, I just see a lot of movies where I'm like, that does not authentically seem like a family to me. Or that is not like, it just doesn't seem real. And then the second thing is that I think a major flaw with writers today is they don't understand subtext at all. There's no, and by that I mean they just literally say what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like that horrible. I only saw clips of it, and I saw you guys talk about it. But like when Captain America, the new Captain America, just said "do better." How freaking embarrassing! What a horrible, lazy way to go about like telling a story. It's just awful.
Yes, he and that was just part of a whole speech. He chewed out 3 senators in front of everybody in the news, and you could tell it was just a speech that the writer wanted to yell at his friends. So I'll just write it into this. That's what writing has turned into, and believe me, that was the comics were the proving ground. Like Max Bemis, his Moon Knight run is insane. The guy's like, that guy is insane. He even admits it. He's like crazy. I think he's like in a band or something like that, but like he's a fucking nut. And his Moon Knight was horrifically bad. Horrifically bad. He'd always like had to mention how bad capitalism was every few pages. That's what writing is. Like, yeah, it's total cringe. It's just it's terrible. But yeah. The path they're following with the show is but just making it Hero Moon Knight, and sure, if you want to do the Fight Club thing, then do it. But get writers who can do it. There's and it's a very difficult thing to do. But the philosophy at Marvel now is just we'll throw things at people, they'll figure it out. We don't care if we don't care if they're experienced enough because they look the part. They look the part, and that's all we're really concerned with is that they look the part. I don't really care if they're talented. I mean, let's give a show to a feminist, quote unquote, comedian podcaster who's never written anything in her fucking life, who's never really calls herself a comedian, but there's no stand-up comedy out there of her at all.
On the internet, you can't find one.
Not one clip of Basha K. Ali doing stand-up in a club, but she calls herself a comedian.
Self-labeled.
Yeah, self-labeled. Yeah, I listened to her feminist podcast, and then when my ears started bleeding, I stopped. I know I took years off my life, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. I was so shocked at it not being funny at all. Oh, but that's where Marvel is. They're just casting writers, and they have a real problem with the Disney Plus thing. What they need to do, what Marvel, aside from being woke, they probably thought we're fucking Marvel. We're going to do this different, And a lot of companies think that. I remember getting a Tesla when Tesla's like, we're going to do the auto industry different. And then they realized they couldn't. So, and they had to call in people with auto industry experience. They're going to have to bring in showrunners. But Kevin Feige does not like to relinquish control. Like this guy does not like to relinquish control. He's, by the way, driven the Marvel Comics into the fucking ground. He's in charge of Marvel Comics. He's the chief creative officer of Marvel. Did you know that Marvel, for the first time in history, did not place a graphic novel, a book, in the top 750 in the book scan for 2021?
Oof.
Not a single book.
That's rough.
There are 2 Marvel character books in there. They're licensed out to fucking IDW. And they're like Miles Morales kids books. So there's no Spider-Man book. There's no Hulk book. No Avengers book. No Captain Marvel book. No Miss Marvel book. Nothing in the top 750. A best-selling comic book, a floppy, you know, the little comic books, is 150,000 at best, and that's through basically trickery. They use variants, so people will buy, the collectors will buy the same comic more than once. So the true numbers are probably somewhere around 50 to 60,000. That's how many comic books sell in this entire country of 333 million people, or 31, something like that, give or take.
Wow.
Well, documented, but
well, and we're feeling that same kind of creative, power in the MCU. We've got the comic book industry, like you've always said, it's the proving ground. So we've got the comic book going in all these woke directions and failing over and over and over, and now we've just got the MCU, which was succeeding, now going to fail because of the exact same strategies. And like that's why you need collaboration, and like having one person at the helm of everything that makes all decisions. I don't know if that's a great idea.
It probably isn't.
Yeah,
especially in a creative field, you know.
I just wonder at what point do the bean counters come in and say, "Look, this is not sustainable," right? Like, are there like this is why I question like, what is going on with so much agenda being shoehorned into things? Is there a tax break for movies that do this? I mean, are there tax breaks regionally speaking for films that shoot in, say, Georgia or Idaho or other places? They have those tax breaks, and that's fine. It's great. It's good for the local economy. Makes sense. But when there's so many movies kind of repeating the same messaging, it makes you wonder. And I'm just asking the question out loud. I'm just introducing that. Like, why is there so much of a sameness in the messaging to so much of this content?
ESG scores.
Yeah, you think so?
It has to be.
Yeah. There's
no other explanation for it, because it's not profit. They're not profiting. We're seeing these things like fail. If Moon Knight came out in 2014, the excitement for it would be much higher than it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from Twitter stands, you're not seeing a ton of excitement for it. The usual suspect. You're not seeing normies jump in and, we're eating up Moon Knight. Yeah, Disney, every time they come out with a fucking series, it's record breaking, blah, 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 whatever. Show us some numbers. I think you're all full of shit. I think the most people who watch this are what? Let's be kind, and we'll say 10% of their subscriber base.
Yeah.
And are they watching the whole thing? Are they watching parts of it? Are they leaving it on and walking away? We'll never fucking know. We'll never know. But they have numbers that they know how many people are watching and how many people and for how long. And if it was spectacular, they would tell us. Like with the digital Luke Skywalker coming back at the end of Mandalorian, they threw out numbers, man. They gave us numbers. So
yeah, with their egos, they would be blasting it everywhere.
Yeah.
So the fact that you don't see it is really telling. Did you see the article from New York Post about, was it New York Post or was it NBC, about the app, the CNN Plus app?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It tanked.
Within 2 weeks, it's got like no user base actively using it. I'm trying to find the exact number.
It was 10,000.
It's 10,000. Yeah, 10,000 active users. That's insane.
So, yeah, we talked about that yesterday. And
for CNN,
there's more people watching like Critical Drinker videos right now than that.
Yes, actively right now watching Critical Drinker right now.
Yeah.
There's more people. So that's the same kind of energy that Disney Plus has, that Paramount Plus has. That same energy, just we can't see the numbers.
Yep.
Well, you saw that thing where Brian Stelter was at some conference and a student asked him a very question about the stories they got wrong. And of course he deflected to something about like helping other journalists,
Yeah.
at other networks. First of all, it was a great exchange, and kudos to that student for standing up and asking a very intelligent question. And Stelter, who's a moron, I think he's a complete tool. He doesn't even believe the shit he's saying.
Oh, it's time for lunch.
If he's smart, he doesn't believe it. And if he does believe it, he's an even bigger moron than he is on camera, which is possible. But, to see the way he deflected from that this is why people don't like CNN. This is why when you've been gaslit for 2+ years, right? And who knows how much we were gaslit before that. I think the only thing that those networks are good for is breaking news. And even then they're speculating, they're like, well, there's a shooter in the subway in New York.
It's a man.
Yeah. We don't know his.
We don't know his. It's a man. It's a man running around.
It's a person of undetermined race,
undetermined
gender,
man.
or creed.
But I'm not a biologist. He could be this black man.
Who knows?
Shit! Damn it!
We haven't
could
asked
be
him
identifying
his
as a woman. Oh shit!
There's just look. I am and always have been a common sense guy. I think that's just that's how you get through whatever. A lot of things. Parenting. We're all. Oh wait, this is the parent stream. We're all parents on this stream. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
That's that's a whole other conversation. We might not be able to go down that road, but the common sense is out the freaking window. This is why they have lost things. And when you see them constantly repeat things that are objectively not true, and with 2 clicks you can find out it's not true. With 1 click, it's utterly, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm glad that app is I hope they lay everybody off, and I hope they cancel it. And they're offering lifetime subscriptions. That's not a good sign.
That's a punishment. That is a punishment. Membership's available here at Nerdrotic, by the way. Yeah. So no, that would be terrible. I can't think. That's the 9th circle of hell. It will be going to the content house in the Poconos with Chrissy Mayer and having a CNN Plus subscription. That would be hell to me.
That'd be great. I love Chrissy Mayer, but that would be hell. CNN Plus and do their commentary. They can do react videos to CNN Plus.
That would be funny.
I would watch that.
Oh God, it's going to be dead soon. I mean, apparently Zaslow, whatever, Warner Discovery guy, he's the Jesus of Hollywood, and he's going to save everything. We'll see. I hope so. I hope he does.
You need someone with balls, and I don't think we have leadership that has balls to stand up. I mean, you look at the hobbling of Chapek and what he's become. I just, where are the leaders that just are like, no, we're doing this. This is what we do. We are a company that our programming is for children, and we're all about parents, and that's our base. We're going to stick with that. And I guess some data point came out that Disney is now, or at least when it comes to the parks and stuff, it's adults without kids that are the big fans of Disney, which is weird to me, I guess. I don't know.
No,
I just don't think kids watch movies anymore. I mean, a lot of them, my kids. My kids don't sit down and watch Disney movies like I did when I was a little kid. Well, they don't watch TV shows on TV like I did when I was a kid. They watch a YouTube video of their favorite YouTuber playing a Minecraft or something, or they're playing a game, or they're outside. My kids go outside and play. They don't ever watch movies. I don't know. It's I have to go, hey guys, let's sit down and watch a movie together, and it's never a Disney movie. Let's say that. And so I just don't think they're not cultivating their audience. They're feeding their millennial audience, and that's all.
And they're
not going anywhere.
Hollywood is going down the exact same road. Disney specifically is going down the exact same road that Marvel has and the comic industry has for decades now, which is ignoring, cultivating, bringing in a generation, and they just forgot about them, and the kids went somewhere else. They went to manga, and that's the future, man. Superhero movies will be dead soon, soon. 5 years.
Well, they used to have a name for this, was it called Dinks? Double income, no kids. It was people that were married that had no kids. They have more disposable income to spend on vacations and stuff. Right. So this is sort of an evolution of the Dinks.
It is.
Which sounds derogatory term.
But the problem is, the Dinks don't multiply as much as
that's right.
Yeah. The Dinks get old, but they just become Dinks. And that's fine. If you choose not to have kids, that's cool. That's no problem at all. But
who can afford Disney now? You see all this
nobody.
Where there's sort of
nobody.
a la carte, adding all these things. I mean, and look, years ago, a decade ago, I had an annual pass. It was right, this is fine. If I go to Disneyland 3-4 times in a year, it pays for itself. But like, it was fun. Just like, it's a Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock. I'm gonna go ride Space Mountain. I'm gonna drink. And California Adventure.
Remember in February of like 1997 when you could just like go there for a couple of hours and ride every ride? Those were the days.
Yeah. And that's not happening. So I guess they price people out where you're just like, no, I'm not gonna, like, it's a whole thing. Also, like, all the other parks have way better deals. Like Universal, like, it's cheap for an annual pass.
Universal's fun too. Like Universal also has like awesome, like like this fucking huge mall. It's got restaurants, it's got a theater, and then you can go into a park. It's fucking cool. I had no problem with it, except for that Raiders shop they have there. Fuck the Raiders.
Right. But the Wizarding World thing, the way that they did Wizarding World,
that is dope.
Okay.
That was good.
It is so like you're in the, like, everybody kind of like, all the cast members working it, they dress, they're in character, the smell of it. You can get what do they call that drink?
Butterbeer.
The butterbeer.
You can get butterbeer with a shot of Jameson at Universal, which is great.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with the wands actually doing stuff, which is really fun. It's more fun to see like kids get a thrill out of like doing that than it is to actually do it yourself. It's like, it's fun. There's a whole environment. I thought in my mind's eye that, like, if they do Star Wars Land like Wizarding World, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a freaking shopping mall. It's a shopping mall.
The potential there was so huge.
Disney, I mean, like, book, maybe you should write the book, Chris. But I mean, because like, honestly, your breakdown, like, Chris has done a couple of videos for Film Threat. And they're like still getting gazillion views, and it's like they're getting recommended after Mahler videos. But it's right. It's like Disney made the biggest mistake in cinematic history. It cannot be undersold how fucking dumb it was not to put Han, Luke, and Leia in a scene together. And then there was bigger ones. I mean, not bigger, but there was mistakes that should be 1A. 1B, 1C after that, spreading the characters out, making Han a bad dad, canceling the fucking EU. That's how you decided to get off. Like, hey, all you hardcore Star Wars fans, go fuck yourself. That's how they started. And the strength of this brand, dude, to survive just people. I mean, it's constantly just slapping you in the face. That's what they're doing. They're constantly just smacking you.
This sucks, but I actually bought, before The Rise of Skywalker came out, I bought tickets to Star Wars Celebration, and they're non-refundable.
Yeah, dude.
But by the way, Gary, I don't know if I should be talking about this on the stream, but I was at WonderCon.
Yeah, I was gonna go. And
I
didn't go because of the fucking mask thing, and I couldn't get a straight answer from anybody at the show. Here's
who I got a straight answer from: the cops. So I'm there. And, I'm just walking around. Now, okay, when you go when you're outside WonderCon and the Anaheim Convention Center, you don't have to wear a mask. It's outside, right?
Yep.
But between the hallway from when you go to the actual convention, that's where they were enforcing it. Once you were in the convention hall, no one gave a shit.
Fucking retarded. Moronic. And I refuse to do that. I will not put on a mask. I will
have a special mask that I wear.
I know you do. I know. I have one too, thanks to you.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. So I love it. I bought it.
It's all performative. That's what I hate about it. It doesn't actually make any logical sense whatsoever. It's, you do it so you look like you're paying homage to the mask laws, but really everybody's mingling inside the hall anyway.
They're going to do it at San Diego too.
Yeah. So I talked to 2 police officers who were just standing around. They did not have masks on. They were in the convention hall. And I walked around and said, "Hello, officer. Can I ask you, what is the mask policy?" He said, "Mask policy is for events, you don't have to wear a mask." He said, "This is event specific. They're asking you to wear a mask." And I said, "Well, are you enforcing this?" He goes, and they just pointed to their mouths and like, "We're not wearing masks." They didn't care. They were literally like, cops on hand because it's a big event and they're supposed to be there. And my suspicion is that Star Wars Celebration is going to be the same thing. They're just not going to enforce it. They didn't enforce it at all at Designer Con. I don't know if you've ever been to Designer Con, Gary, but it's awesome. It's all independent creators, a lot of vinyl, vinyl figures, and just it's indie creators solely. And it's a great convention. So I've been going to that for years. That one's awesome.
I'll check that out. Dude, they have in August here in San Antonio, they have a car comic convention, like a car fucking show and a comic convention. So I'm like,
that sounds awesome.
I'm so going to that.
That's how I started first going to comic conventions in the 70s in Detroit, Michigan. Was they'd have the Detroit Auto Show, and then Adam West and Burt Ward would be signing autographs. I actually got an autograph from Leonard Nimoy, who was at one of the shows in the early 70s. They'd have like a room showing like 16 millimeter prints of original Star Trek episodes. Then they'd have like, a room that like, here's some comics and they're selling Super 8 movies, oddly. And then they'd have like a couple of celebrities as a draw. And that's, my dad would look at the cars and I'd go, in the comic
There's a lot of crossover, man. There's a lot of crossover. A lot of the new car shows. I mean, you have Batmobiles, you have Bond cars they pull out. You have all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
No, it's awesome.
It's a great crossover.
Squiggly Dig here in the chat says, after moving to Texas and seeing people behaving like normal people again, you cannot pay me to put a mask back on. Hell, I absolutely agree with that. Not at all. I'm not flying until that. I mean, maybe I'm never flying again. Maybe I'm gonna have to take a fucking boat to the UK. I don't know, but I'm not getting on a fucking plane.
Gary, I'm the same way. I used to fly all the time. I used to go to film festivals and conventions. I used to go to Dragon Con in Atlanta, but like this mask policy with the airlines, which the airlines keep pushing, saying, they should drop. Look at all the issues it's created with like, indignant, annoying people trying to force trying to police other people, right? Like not even the airlines. It's like, what was that one video where some woman without a mask was trying to yell at some guy to put his mask on and got kind of violent with him? Like, there's so many cases of this stuff. Just drop it, make it I mean, freaking Fauci just come out and said it, like, well, you assess your own risk.
My gosh. It's like that's what we've been saying.
I'd like to assess his risk.
From the beginning. We should have been from the beginning, like assess our own risk, like
metaphorically speaking, of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh God. It's just,
yeah, dude. No.
I don't fly anymore.
Yeah, so. That's why I was like, I was going to drive to WonderCon. It's too, like, I love the drive, so I'm not going to complain. I absolutely adore that drive. I would do it today just for fun, because I like driving through the Southwest. But I just like, we'll do San Diego, and when I get to San Diego, I'm not going to wear a mask. So we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens,
and that's what everybody needs to do. Is like, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it.
Right.
And like you said, the cops, they're not going to stop you. If it's not mandatory by law, then what are they going to do? So they're going to go, oh, could you leave? All right.
They're not. I mean, like,
that's the worst you're going to get.
Like, I'll throw it in the trash.
So I didn't wear a mask at WonderCon. I put it on a couple times just to get so I just wanted no hassle. And I did a panel there, and it was cool. But I'll tell you this, Gary, it was weird. Not very well attended.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think the numbers were?
The habit has been broken. On Friday, it was dead. Like, I've never seen it. Like, Friday was like half of what a Thursday would be at a con. It was like, okay, this is weird. It felt weird to be around so few people. And then Saturday, it was more, but it wasn't like a Saturday at WonderCon in the past, or even at San Diego Comic-Con. So I really think it's like partly it's like the economy, right? Like, and I had a hotel booked and I canceled it. I'm like, what do I need it for? So I paid $50 for parking. Although actually, I did this trick. I'm not recommending a lot of the things that I do. I'm just telling you to be honest.
Yeah.
So if you wait, you have to pay when you leave, and it's like $50 to park at the Hilton lot. But if you can get right behind a car and time it right, I didn't pay for parking because I drove. There's like one vehicle, and I've pulled that trick so often. It's just like, well, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Like,
charge you $50.
And then here's another trick. I keep trying to teach my friends. It's like, first of all, if you're gonna drink at a convention, don't take a flask. A flask says, this is alcohol. What you do is you get a Starbucks cup and you fill it with your favorite beverage, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so my buddy, we had a whole group of people there. I was actually hanging out with Anna, that Star Wars girl. And so I brought just like a ton of booze in my car just to share with people. Like, look, don't pay $14 at the Hilton or Marriott bar for a cocktail. Come out, first couple rounds are on me, and then you're good. You know, just like this is my philosophy on it, is just like I'd rather buy a comic book or something I want rather than spend
spend some money in a booth.
I will starve to death.
Yeah.
Before I buy
I don't
fucking $50. Like one time we were hungry, and this was at Comic-Con, and this was in 2007. We bought 2 sandwiches, 2 sodas, 2 fucking bags of chip. It was fucking $50. It was $50 fucking dollars. And I'm like, no, never again. We're gonna bring our food in. We're smuggling everything. Fuck these people.
I'll always do that. Like I call it urban camping. So what I'll do is like when I get like a hotel at San Diego Comic-Con, I bring a huge cooler. It's booze, water. I'm not paying $5 for a water, you know, in the hotel lobby, right? I bring a case of water, and you see people rolling in. It's like the smart people. Whenever I see someone roll in, and it's like, yep, you get it, right? You maybe you buy, and I would allow myself, I'll buy 1 meal out in the gas lamp, right? 1 meal, I'll treat myself, but everything else, breakfast, whatever, just like urban camp, that's the way to go. And then your hotel is kind of a party room, and then you go out into the con. But I do think, like with Star Wars Celebration, my favorite thing is to hang out in the hotel bars with like the 501st. There are people I only see and have only seen like at Celebration. So I don't know how much time, you know, I would spend at the show, because I paid for these tickets like 3 years ago. But like,
when is it? When is it? When is it?
It is May. It's right when Kenobi starts. I think the 27th, May 27th, something like that. So it's right when those first 2 Kenobi episodes drop. So, but yeah, so I feel like I want to go. I want to see, you know, there's just, I know like people flying in and just like, because they bought these things a long time ago. I mean, so, you know, but it looks like they're just not enforcing the mask. It's sort of like this dive bar I go to in Pasadena, like has like they have like on the door, but it's laughable. Like they have it there. They never enforce it. Don't care. It's just sort of like for the you know,
mask mandated a dive bar is hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't care at all, and no one there wears masks. They don't, you know, but they have a sign up that says it, and they're not following it at all.
Yeah, I heard the retailers were not happy with WonderCon. Like they didn't make any money, and that's your life's blood of a con. And like the Anaheim Convention Center is not a cheap thing to rent out. Now, the quick history of WonderCon started in Oakland, California, and it was a pretty good con. They moved it to San Francisco for like 4 years, and it rivaled San Diego. Like it could have rivaled San Diego. You're in the San Francisco Convention Center was broken up. It's broken up into like 3 parts or 4 parts. It makes no fucking sense. But they put it in one of the bigger ones, right? And that was I remember, I'll never forget the year that the V for Vendetta mask went crazy. They passed out a bunch of free V for Vendetta masks to show V for Vendetta. They did 300. They had the 300 Spartans marching down fucking San Francisco. And dude, the thing sold out. Like my booth made more money in San Francisco. It was more profitable than it was in San Diego because I didn't have to pay as much. It was put on by the same people, and it was growing like crazy. And then the San Francisco hotel just fucking shut it down. They're like, nope. Because they didn't want to do a deal. Because you have to do, for the convention, you have to come in and do a deal with the hotels. And that's been the big controversy with San Diego, by the way.
Oh, wow.
You know who runs San Diego? The hoteliers. It's run by hotel owners because it's just straight up a tourist town, right?
Is that why a regular room at the Marriott is $800 during Comic-Con?
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh my, that's insane.
It's just price gouging. It's disgusting, you know, so...
Yeah, I mean, they essentially ran out the Chargers, and they're going to run out San Diego Comic-Con at some point because, like, they don't need Comic-Con. It's fucking San Diego. Middle of summer, they can charge $1,200 for that room, $2,000 for that room, and get it. But so we'll see how long it lasts, and it will be very interesting because they did that makeup Comic-Con that you and I were at, Chris, and there was not many people there. Like,
no, that was the special edition. It was dead. I mean. And they did enforce the mask thing. I hate it. I just didn't spend much time in the convention hall, but it felt weird. It felt like, oh, this is sad. This is like this is a thing that's dying. And maybe like you've said it before, Gary, like people's habits can be changed. People's, you know, like going to the movies. That's a habit that, you know, I want to bring back because it's my, I mean, you know, I got to go to the movies once a week at least and see movies streaming too. But like, yeah, I think that habit is, I don't know. July is going to be it's going to be a big test. Like, can San Diego Comic-Con come back? And I do believe that the reason they did that special edition was just contractually, and then also because of badges, right? They had pre-sold badges. They had to do make goods on all these badges. They couldn't keep kicking the can to July. So we'll see. And there were, you know, I wonder, are they going to have all those huge activations that they have outside? Which a lot of them are shit.
Well, probably. You know. I don't know if Hollywood's going to invest in it. I don't know because like they're going to. Well, if there aren't going to be a bunch of people there, why should we spend millions to do an event?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, E3 is dead. E3. I don't know if you ever went to the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Yeah.
It's gone, and it's really they could not get the majors to step up. And I think that that's the case. Like I will say at WonderCon, no major, you know. Nothing DC, Marvel, like no presence of any major company. It was, which I actually kind of like. It's just like, okay, cool. It's, you know, back to old school. And I did go to WonderCon a couple times in San Francisco. It was super fun.
Yep. It
was super fun. Like the bar scene was fun. You'd run into people. That's where you and I met. I think it was 2010.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it was great. It was just like, I love the Bay Area. I don't have any reason to go back there now. And just the stories you hear, like people's cars getting broken into, leaving signs. There's nothing in my car. Please don't break my window. Like, why would I go to San Francisco? I mean, San Francisco was at least a once a year trip, if not to WonderCon, just for some other reason, just to go up there because it's beautiful. And now why would I do that? And downtown LA is not what it used to be. Not downtown LA is like downtown from the 90s when it was dangerous. Like that's downtown LA. Right now. So
yeah, and that's where LA Comic-Con is. Because I remember where it was Wizard World and then it's LA. And San Diego's it's not much better right now.
No.
It's turning into little LA again. So
no, it's bad.
A lot of cities took a big hit in 2020 and they're still struggling to come back. Like I've told you before, I drove through all of the West, hitting all these cities. And they all looked the same. They were all trashed. They were all dangerous. It was sad.
Dude,
and
you were at the Chode.
I went to the Chode.
You went to the Chode. I can't believe you fucking went. I can't believe you did
the
that.
homeless Graceland.
God.
That place was crazy. But I mean, not all the other cities didn't look too far off. Didn't look too far off from Chaz. And that's what's kind of sad is all of them lost a lot of their greatness. Like what you said, Chris, is they're beautiful places. All those cities, Portland, Seattle
used to be really clean. Like this really clean
beautiful
city.
Locations.
Yeah.
Portland had getting run down.
Portland had the best strip clubs, sort of dive strip clubs that also had like I mean, that's the birthplace of Suicide Girls, right? Like was Portland.
Yeah.
That's where
that's where the young go to retire.
When I say strip clubs, I mean like burlesque, not like
I'm not judging. I like who doesn't like a strip club?
I used to live around the corner from Jumbo's Clown Room off Hollywood, so that was my local dive bar, which is great. Like no cover charge, whatever. I mean, it's like, and these women are true artists.
Hey, there's a burlesque show in Vegas that my wife and I like a horror burlesque show. I'll take you there in Vegas. It's fucking cool as hell. It's really good. Severed heads, all this good shit.
Go to that. Yeah. I will go to that. Yeah, they do these like fun burlesque shows that are kind of like they used to do a Star Wars burlesque. There was the Empire Strips Back. Have you ever seen it? Just Google like Empire Strips Back. It's great. I mean, they one of the things they did is they did like that Wrecking Ball song, right? But it was the Emperor sort of like in the robe, but the robe is kind of like coming off and it's the Death Star, right? So it was like a total parody of that music video. It was hilarious. So look up the Empire Strips Back, and then the other one,
see Sheev's ass.
They did the same guy did the Game of Thrones burlesque, and then he also he's doing a Batman burlesque show as well. But It's oh my god, I'm outing myself as like I go to nerd themed burlesque shows. The other one that was really good was Tarantina, which is all Tarantino movie themed burlesque show. Like,
so it's just feet.
It's just
exactly feet. It's all feet.
But the guy from Australia that does that is the one that did that book I sent you, Gary, which is like the 1919 to 19, like the sort of like the Gotham book.
Dude, that book is so fucking cool.
Isn't it?
Is that the same guy that does the YouTube channel for Gotham?
He does. He's got the YouTube channel, but also, by the way, if you go, his company is called Giant Panda King. He's got a Metropolis book, so he's doing the same thing.
Oh,
nice!
You got to see the cover of it. So if you go to his Instagram, Giant Panda King, he's doing that, and then he's doing a Wonder Woman themed one, and also he's doing a Planet of the Apes one, like as if Planet of the Apes is real. You got to look it up, Giant Panda King. Like, and it's all like available for pre-order. And these are not cheap books. They're like $80. And then shipping from Australia, they're like $100. But that guy is, I've interviewed him before. He's trying to make movies and stuff. So he kind of does these on the side because they're cheaper than making movies. But the Metropolis one just looks like
it's so well done.
How long ago did he post it? I mean, I see a lot of Gotham stuff here, but
if you go to like his shop, it should be on the Giant Panda King shop. You have to sign up for an email, and he does these low runs. He only does like 2,000 of them, a couple thousand. So the print runs are really low because this is not legal what he's doing.
No,
it's not legal. But like, I look at that and I'm like, that's a take on Batman. Before cell phones, before social media. Oh, the Riddler. He's got a lot of followers.
Wookie, what is this?
He's got a
Wookie
community.
erotica.
Yeah, no. Oh, dude, I have that book. He did like, it's like an old Playboy from the 70s, but Star Wars themed.
You guys are going to see all this.
Freaking awesome. Yeah, you got to.
I don't know if we can show. Yeah, I don't know how much I can show.
That's tasteful.
It's very tasteful.
But I think
Wookie erotica.
Yeah, and he does the Star Wars themed burlesque show.
Okay.
And then it should say, under coming soon. If you click coming soon, that's where the look.
The Mascura, The Last Station. Oh,
Metropolis.
It's Yul Brynner. Oh shit. Oh shit, that is fucking cool.
How amazing is that? Like, this is to me the way to kind of like reboot all this stuff, is just like just go old school when these characters were created in the era and make it real.
Do a period piece.
The book
I would love
Chris was talking about was this book. He sent me this book. It is fucking awesome. So there's a couple of videos that kind of go through the book if you want to see.
He does one for Batman, Joker, Mr. Freeze. I don't know if there's a Catwoman one, but I mean, full breakdowns of like their story or their origins, how they came to be. Very, very cool. There's a Two-Face.
Mr. Freeze,
but it's cool. It's like Prohibition era gangster. You know, Gotham is so. It's just it's inspiring. It's like that to me. Like, go that way, right? Then you're not dealing with present day anything, right? I mean, it's like Quentin Tarantino said. Some interviewer asked him, like, "What's your favorite? You've made movies in different eras. What's your favorite era?" And he said, "Anytime before cell phones. Anytime." But he does not. Quentin Tarantino does not want to deal with cell phones and social media because, I mean, social media is ripping our country apart. In my opinion, it's destroying kids' lives. When you look at how influential it is, I don't think any kid under the age of 18 should be on social media in any form. I think it's so psychologically destructive. I think we're going to find it's worse for you than cigarettes when studies come out. You know, and they're kicking the can on all that with like legislation, like, oh, like, okay, they can sign up at this age. No, I mean, thankfully my kids missed it. Like, they got out of high school like before all this was a thing, and they never really cared about it. Even like both my son and daughter, like, just don't social media. Like, yeah, you know, my daughter posts her art projects. My son posts like stuff he's doing in the military that he can talk about, but like their social media consumption's very low. And I think that's just what.
I got to look forward to that. My kid's getting older. He's about to turn 11. It's like hard rule. You can't get a phone until you can afford a phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even then, they're
pretty young, like 16. that's young, man. That's so much. And I grew up before Facebook, before MySpace, and it kind of all started whenever I was in my teens. So we kind of adapted to it from a world before all this, and now you've got kids that are, you know, from age 3. Like there was a video I saw yesterday of this mother showing their new house to their little kids, and I'm talking like 7 and 5, and they both had phones in their hands. I was like, that is nuts to me. A little kid having a phone?
Now, whenever I say that, I mean, to me, I think the central place for the worst parenting on the planet Earth is in the state of California. I just like the kinds of things I've witnessed. You know, you don't negotiate with terrorists or 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right.
You just don't. Like,
you mean you don't let them choose what they want to eat and their gender and what clothes to wear? And
I will offer choices within parameters, but those parameters are set by me. And I you know, looking back, I'm like, yeah, I was probably kind of a strict asshole dad, but my kids, you know, they're not crazy people, and they're not like they contribute to society rather than being a burden. And I really fear for this generation of kids being raised by narcissists, you know, narcissist parents, and who need social media affirmation. It's sickening to witness in real time. And just like when this is one of the worst things I've seen so many times, is you'll see a 4-year-old and a parent talking to the 4-year-old, and the parent says, well, what do you want to do? I don't care what my kid wants to do. I don't care, because I'm the parent. This is what we're doing. And once I
was never asked as a kid ever, what do you want to do?
Parent. Yeah. What do you want to do? No, that's just like, but I've seen it so often. It's like, it doesn't surprise me that, you know, and it's also to me, like, just like a lack of fathers in the home, or at least fathers with backbone, you know? So I don't know. We were talking about pop culture at some point. I'm sorry, Gary.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I forgot to share all this stuff out on the social medias too. So that's what I was doing. So yeah, I guess I want to get to, I've got Lord of the Rings pulled back up. We're going to, it's really strange that Amazon and YouTube would go to this length to protect something like, I mean, ultimately, you're not going to change anybody's mind by removing dislikes. You're caught now at this point. Just fucking stop. It's is it going to get worse? You know, people are always going to question if it's authentic or not. I mean, that's the thing. And there's still, I don't think it's going to discourage. I think the only thing discouraging anybody from seeing it was the actual fucking trailer and the words out of the fucking creators' mouths. I think that is more discouraging than some dislikes on a fucking trailer. But go ahead, keep silencing fans. And all it tells me is, you know, you have a giant piece of shit on your hands. That's all it tells me. Just like, you know, we'll talk about female Thor in a minute here. We haven't seen, again, like the Eternals, not a frame of footage, not a still, nothing. This thing comes out in like 3 months.
Yeah, that's a stinker.
Months. You know, and then like, just for example, teasers have been shown years, like a year in advance, especially something like this that's largely in the can, right, Chris? This thing is fucking shot and done months ago, maybe a year ago.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, are there some spoilers in Thor? Is the universe somehow changed because of the events in Doctor Strange? You know, I don't know. Doctor Strange comes out soon. I don't.
But you can show innocuous shit like they did it with Spider-Man. Like, it's like, you don't need to fucking the toys coming out tells the whole story that this is, I mean, the master of TDS, our good friend, tweeted up something.
I'm concerned about which aisle I find the Thor toys, because we have genderless toy aisles now.
Yeah, mandatory.
State of California, mandatory. We you know, I used to really, like, before I moved to California from Michigan, I was like, man, what this amazing place. You can make a right turn on a red light. Can't even do that in Michigan. And of course, you know, like, California was sort of the leader of, like, you know, laws that just made sense. Now it's the dumbest laws, and it's the capital of idiocy is what it's become. Yep.
I didn't even think about that. Am I allowed to do that here in Texas? Because I've been doing it.
That's a national thing.
Yeah.
It is okay. I was like, I didn't even think
yeah.
about it. I'm like, fuck. I just been going. I don't care. I haven't even got my license yet. Still haven't. I still got
California. Wait, do you have California plates?
I have California plates. I have a California license, and I'm like creeping up on 90. Like I got 90 days, so I'm gonna take.
Your
all my
target,
90
man.
days.
Your target.
Okay, here
You're gonna turn your turn signal on, and no one's gonna let you in.
No, I'm already. You know what? I haven't gotten any dirty.
At least
he
turned the turn signal
on. My neighbors have been very nice. Okay, so this is from Master of the TDS. Give him a follow on Twitter. Good guy. He's come to our meetups. Love him. He's got a great wife. Some promotional art for Thor: Love and Thunder. A female Thor has seen better days. Yeah, nice and prominent in the front. So this is just a fucking book, like a little binder book. But look where Thor is. This is fucking Thor: Love and Thunder, and like he's covered up by female Thor. By the way, they hate it when you call her female Thor, so call her female Thor.
He's a secondary character in his own movie franchise.
What if Thor's name was Steve? Wouldn't we say female Steve?
We'd say female Steve.
See, Steve is a mantle that you could pass down to worthy, other people.
The character's name is Thor. There's not like.
See, when I retire, we're just going to call X-Ray Girl Gary, and she's going to take over.
It moves down the line.
She'll take the mantle of
She'll
Gary.
put on a fake beard. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She'll be the mighty Gary. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. But this is the exact same shit they're doing with Lord of the Rings. Like, it's the exact same thing. You're going to have Warrior Galadriel, probably wearing pants all the time. Probably a cod piece, as far as I know. Maybe she will have a dick. I don't fucking know. And it's going to be just missing the point of Tolkien completely. And everybody knows it. Now, you're not going to get a bunch of fight back with Marvel because, quite frankly, Ryan pointed it out yesterday. You remember that guy who called me and the Jeremys out and Ryan with his candy corn arms on Twitter?
Yeah.
And said that Thor: Love and Thunder, it's going to piss off the right people. For one, if we're in your head when you're making, if I'm in Taika Waititi's head, for one, that's fucking awesome. And for two, that's terrible. That's terrible for Marvel. I should not be in your head. But it's some guy who runs a website. The website has 1 million followers on Twitter. I don't know how legit that is because he gets like similar interaction than me with like a lot less. In his bio, big Marvel fan, admittedly has not read the comic books, and that's what we're dealing with is MCU fans who call themselves Marvel fans, but you're actually Disney Marvel fans. What you are is a Disney Marvel fan. And I'm a Marvel Comics fan. I'm a different creature than you. So I've read the source material.
We're not the same.
Yeah, we're not the same. I've read the source material. I know what's up. I know where it comes from. I know what they're twisting. I know why they're twisting it. And I mean, like, if people want to debate that, fine. It's different in the MCU. And that's why the MCU is shit now. That's why the MCU will continue to be shit because they have forgotten the plot. They have ignored the source material. They have skipped decades. I mean, dude, I would take any of those 80s crossovers. Like, just name fucking one over anything they're doing now.
Yeah.
Anything they're doing now is just, oh God.
Thor.
Can I just say,
Mighty Thor.
This is what the action figures, the toys we're looking at now are so sad to me.
Oh,
this is when I had suspicions that like the Disney Star Wars was going to suck when the Force Awakens like toy line came out. And I remember they did this, like they did this thing, Force Friday, when every Star Wars movie before every Star Wars movie come out, it'd be like the September before that unveiled the toys. It was the first time I went and I didn't buy one thing. I just went like, okay, because it's like I'll see people I know in LA like that are toy collectors and I only see them at these things. So I went and I was like, there is nothing here that interests me. And when I saw that the figures, they look like they're in coffins. Right. And there's very little articulation and they look incredibly generic. They look like dollar store versions of those characters, but they are officially licensed.
Yeah.
When I saw how cheap the Force Awakens toy line was, I was like, oh, and it was something that like, I don't want to go down a Star Wars rabbit hole. My co-host on Film Threat, Alaning, always bugs me. You're always bringing up Star Wars. It's a point. It makes sense. But like, I really feel like my first thought when I saw Force Awakens, one of them among many, which I fucking hated it, but like, was that this needs George Lucas. It needed George Lucas's eye. It needed his brain. It needed like his attention to detail. It needed his rubber stamp that said rejected. Like, it didn't have that. It was freaking corporate committee IP created shite.
This toy is garbage through and through.
Yeah,
for one, can you bend her arms? Maybe you can bend her arms.
It looks like it has 5 points of articulation. That is low, guys. That is low.
It's painted terribly. The packaging sucks. It's made like it's just fucking a Titan Hero series. Like, what does that even have to do with fucking Marvel, right?
And these toys are hollow. They're light. This is like light plastic.
I forgot what the name of that was. It was just it's a hollow molded plastic, and there is a word name for it that I used to know back when I was selling that shit, and I forgot. But
I think this definitely ties into shrinkflation. I was just educated on that like recently about like my girlfriend got some ice cream sandwiches. I'm like, I haven't had an ice cream sandwich in a long time. I'm going to eat an ice cream sandwich. It was the smallest. It was like an ice cream sandwich appetizer. And I posted a photo of it on my Twitter.
This is an ice cream sandwich made for ants.
And it was just like, this is like a little kid thing. And a little, I just remember ice cream sandwich was a big, it's like, okay, I don't want any more ice cream. I'm good. And I feel like the same thing with like toys and everything. It's like, and the price of these things, these are not cheap now.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They're not cheap, but they feel cheap. Just that attention to detail is not there. I feel like people that care behind the scenes are just like, they don't exist. They don't exist. There's no one. It's just like
as a kid in like the late 90s and early 2000s, like that was peak toys. I was naive and I thought that it was just going to get better and better and better. Like technology is going to make toys better. And whenever I got, to become an adult and I had my own kids and I went around to the toy aisles, I was like, all of this is garbage. It's all garbage tier quality, just like this. Like they did the same line for DC toys,
right?
For Star Wars, for Marvel. They all have this garbage 5 points of articulation, can't move them, made of cheap plastic.
Right.
And it's like, what? You guys, like you have the technology to make things great. And there are toy companies that do really great stuff like NECA. They do really good stuff, but it's all expensive, for the older, for the older audience. Now, and then obviously you've got Hot Toys and even higher than that. But like for the average kid that goes to a toy store, if they can find one.
Yeah.
They have this crap.
And it's crap.
It's crap.
And you're not going to see it. Like what I was just holding up was a Toy Biz. That shit was art. And it was simple. It was really simple stuff. It was 6 points of articulation, but they give you like little arrows, and like his arm would, punch somebody. You get like a little sticker or something with it.
Yeah, they have an action.
Yeah.
Like, does this even come with Mjolnir? Does it even come with a secondary?
It probably is like sealed to her hand. Like you can't take it out. Yeah. It's
the paint job doesn't even match the paint job on the box. Like her helmet doesn't match. The colors don't match.
Dude, and like there's nothing female. I mean, like we're gonna call her female Thor, but it's female Thor as a man. Man, acting like a man. So we're gonna see like, and they got Natalie Portman. You know that picture of her holding up the hammer, and I'm not kidding. That's half the size of her fucking body. The size of Mjolnir is half the size of her fucking little munchkin body. That's not going to be convincing. So she's going to be CG'd. I don't think she worked out, because I think if she worked out, she'd be all over Instagram going, look at my Thor workout. That's what I'd be doing. Why keep it a secret? Unless they're going to put like little moldy things over her arms to make her little noodle arms look stronger. And it's just, and yeah, you could tell Thor is going to be shoved to the back till the end maybe, and then they'll make him Thor and whatever. It's good. I'm fucking so tired of it. And people go, it happened in the comics. Yeah. You mean the comics that couldn't place on the top 750 last year? That started their decline with shit like this? Yeah, it did. It happened in the Disney era of comics, which sucked. Yeah, and it was starting to suck before that, trust me. It wasn't doing that great, but at least when Marvel was always on the brink of bankruptcy, they tried something new, and it forced them to be creative. Now, no, you won't see Marvel and DC at Comic-Con. I don't think so. I don't think it'll be cost effective for them.
Right. I don't think they need it. I mean, like, first of all, it's expensive. I remember being there when Zack Snyder introduced the Justice League, right? Which was Jason Momoa was there, Gal Gadot. It was freaking awesome. And freaking Ezra Miller dressed as Princess Toadstool talking about destroying the patriarchy. That guy's a nutcase. This is like before Justice League came out. He was batshit. And we probably shouldn't go down that rabbit hole. Who knows? But like, that's expensive. You got to bring that talent in. You've got to bring their people in. You got to put them all up, and they're not just going to have a regular room, right? They're going to want a suite at the Marriott. They need car service or a private jet.
Yeah. They've got riders that you got to fulfill.
Yeah. All this stuff. We're just like, look, if you, for public appearances, you know, maybe it's part of their contract, but it's costly. And they've got DC Fandom now, right? Which is basically, you know, whatever, 8 hours of YouTube programming. They don't need San Diego Comic-Con. It's kind of sad to me. I kind of feel like that spectacle, although I do remember this is a couple of years ago, it might have been like 2017 when Will Smith was promoting Bright, and this was weird. I hadn't seen it in years, but they were announced over the PA in the convention hall. Will Smith is in Hall H right now for a presentation. And we walked in and it was like, all right, cool. Will Smith, right? Like, we're going to see some stuff from Bright. And we all sat down and it was like half full. Like, and you know what Hall H is like, Gary.
Yeah.
People sleep on the beach, you know, waiting to get in.
Yep.
It's crazy. Like how that line is. Unfortunately, I've been able to get in for a couple key things, but I don't think they're going to spend that kind of money. I don't think Marvel will be there. I don't think DC will be there. I think they'll do something different. Marvel could even do something that's similar to the DC Fandom thing. I think that, you know, I mean, PlayStation and both Xbox, they just do their presentations on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Just, you know?
Yeah, it'll probably be more cost effective this year. And I just went to the Comic-Con website and they just thanked you for being at WonderCon, and there's nothing. And again, the Comic-Con is in 3-4 months.
And by the way, during WonderCon, you could walk up and get tickets. That hasn't happened in, I don't remember when that last
a bad sign. So, I mean, the reason we're talking about this so much, folks, is this is a sign of like where the culture is at with nerddom. And yeah, the habit's been broken. Like Comic-Con was a thing, like people wanted to go to, like, I want to go to, it's like Nerd Mecca. It used to be. And it used to like really rely on FOMO, fear of missing out. And that is gone. That is absolutely gone. So it might be back to the days where Comic-Con, you know, you could walk up and get a ticket. But the thing is, San Diego Convention Center ain't going to have that. It's just not going to have it. Right. So, yeah, you know, the concert, I mean, the concerts are starting to make their way back. But, like, comic conventions are a different beast. They're a different, completely different beast. So I'm going to read some soups, and then we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings real quick. I do want to go over that. But let's go over here. Yeah, I can't believe there's nothing on the comic. They just say thank you for WonderCon. The Comic-Con Museum is open. Click here for information. And then that's it. There's nothing.
That's it.
And I don't know if my pass that I got for 2 years ago is going to work. I have no fucking idea. Do I have to reapply? I applied for media. I applied for us for media, right? So I don't know if that's going to work.
I got a thing from San Diego Comic-Con. I mean, I've been going like since the early 90s, right? So they reach out to me and say, what panel would you like to do? Sort of a panel outreach. So I'm going to pitch them a couple panels. You know, see what see what they'll bite on.
There you go.
But yeah, if you need some help with a badge, Gary, let me know. So.
I will. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. So I found them. I found them right here. I was looking at the wrong screen because I'm dumb.
Sorry.
Go on.
Oh, I just want to say one thing. Hail to the chat, and I just want to say hi to the chat. That's it. And thank you, you know, for, I don't know, allowing me to be on the Nooner Gary and Garrett.
This is the first. Okay. So this is, we're not quite there yet. Hopefully next week we're going to be on Nooners. Monday, Wednesday at the same time. Chris Gore will be joining us on Wednesday, every Wednesday. So that's going to be a thing. That's going to happen. As soon as I'm just going to bust my ass this weekend. What sucks is like, this is like the last weekend. My wife's in town and then she's out of town, but I need to get it done. And we've just been unpacking the house and doing all this crazy shit, working on this crazy video that we're working on that I hope works.
It's looking good though.
It's looking pretty good, dude. Perry, it's his best work. Perry is a comedic.
He's a magician, man.
He is a comedic genius. Like really shy, soft-spoken guy when you talk to him, but like when you put him alone in his room and you give him footage to work with, he's like fucking Bill Hicks. So the Bill Hicks of editing. He's like brutal. It's so fucking good. Cannot express how much I am grateful for that guy and how talented he is. He's fucking amazing.
Yes.
Commandant VHS for $2 says, I'm starting to miss mediocre writers. Me too. Hashtag me too.
Yeah.
I am as well. I think I would take oh my God, I'd probably shed some tears for mediocre Star Trek at this point. Oh my God, I got to review Picard. Did I say Moon Knight sucked? Yeah, it sucked. It was dumb. Like MCU 1 to 10, I'd say 5. The woman saved herself, and she used Moon Knight to cover her instead of, I don't know, fighting the bad guy. They let the bad guy, like, maybe I missed something. I watched it right before the show, but there's a point in the show where Harrow is there and like, suit up. Even Khonshu's like, suit up. And Mark doesn't want to suit up. Now, it's clear there's a third personality. Okay. It's like, fuck, they make it super clear. That's the problem with Marvel storytelling. Like they're still trying to tell stories to kids, although they don't know how unless they're telling stories about sexual stuff. But actual stories, like real stories, they can't tell those stories anymore to kids. But like, they're really like, they just telegraphed it. Like, which there is. That's not a secret. It's been in the comics that there's a third personality, right? And we haven't met this third personality yet. We're going to meet this third personality in a very bad way. And that's probably going to be the big Fight Club twist or whatever. But, yeah, they let the villain go, and then they forgot that there's an app that can go back in time and tell you where the stars were. So they decided to rewind the universe. You know, and so for anybody complaining about Superman the movie, by the way, that's more plausible than just rewinding the night. By the way, that's all they did. Not the day, the night. Which would be, I mean, it's a cool concept.
It's all connected.
It's a cool concept if you're doing, but I would say like you do it in a bubble without everybody else seeing it. And that's what I thought they were doing. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. That works for me. It's just these three who are seeing this. And no, they make a point to go to Egypt and the fucking rest of the world, and everybody's seeing this. They'd be shitting themselves. There'd be panic in the streets. And everybody's just fine when it stops. I'm just like, what the fuck? There's other stuff.
Is dumb.
Yeah, there's just a lot of unexplained. There's fucking massive plot holes in this thing. When I do my full review, I'll get to it. But Anakmamon for $50. Thank you very much. There's 3 dads in one stream. It's like 3 men in a live stream. I'll give you that. That's kind of a dad joke. Gary is obviously Tom Selleck because he has facial hair. Which of the other two are you? Okay, who's Ted Danson? Who's Steve Guttenberg?
I'll take Steve.
I'll take Ted Danson, of course.
Yeah,
especially the way Ted Danson looks now with his hair. That's probably me.
I like Guttenberg's little Jufro. I like the Jufro.
Yeah,
there you go. That's us.
Hey, Police Academy was the shit. It was good stuff.
Someone get on that meme right now. Let's.
Oh, they're gonna remake 3 Men and a Baby, and it's gonna be a polyamorous gay relationship with a baby.
Well, we know Ryan's the baby, so there you go.
Ryan will be the baby. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Anakmamon, for the $50. I appreciate it. Digby Strawbridge for 20 pounds, British pounds. That's real money. Says, what are your predictions for the latest viewing figures for Chib's Doctor Who? Oh, that's another thing we need to talk about. We'll talk about that after Lord of the Rings. But I will predict that this very well could be the lowest rated episode in Doctor Who history. I mean, put your bets on it, folks. Place your bets. I'll tell you why. I couldn't find the ratings for the last 2 holiday specials. You want to know why? There weren't any. It didn't chart. They weren't high enough to chart. Whatever that number is, I don't know. I had to get to a subscription service, and I was too cheap to pay for it. I probably should. But there is services you can find out there to get actual TV ratings. I think through Nielsen or whatever. But they didn't chart. So this one won't chart. And it's airing in America. I just found this out. You know what time it's airing in America? The Doctor Who special on BBC America is airing at 2:10 p.m. 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon.
Such a weird time.
That is like,
what is that?
Infomercial shit.
Yeah.
That is Star Trek rerun shit. Like good Star Trek reruns. That's
daytime
Twilight
TV.
Zone. Yeah. It's game show time, but it's Sunday. So it's Sunday. It's even worse. So that's infomercial time. It's 2:10 p.m. I think they're trying to air it around the same time they're airing it in the UK, but that might be Eastern. So they might be airing it at the same time they are in UK. It doesn't matter because I'm covering it in the UK. I got my VPN. And again, I'll mention that I love that the iPlayer just simply is based on trust. It's beautiful. Fucking Brits. You guys are wonderful.
It's the honor system here.
They'll be polite. Sure. But yeah, I think it could be the lowest rated episode in Doctor Who history. We've gotten close. We've gotten very, very close. We'll see. Also, one of the things Disney did before destroying the EU was cancel the beloved Clone Wars and obliterated the also beloved LucasArts. The signs always were there from the beginning. Says Darth Dragonborn for $9.99. You are indeed correct.
Yep.
Pay attention to my next video, Dragonborn. That's a hint.
LucasArts, man, they put out, like, I don't know if you ever played the X-Wing or TIE Fighter series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Stuff. God, it's such great games. They even did that Sam and Max game based on the comic.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like
Monkey Island. They did great stuff outside of the Star Wars universe.
Day of the Tentacles. I don't know if you remember that one.
Dude, yes.
God, every LucasArts game when it came out was just so awesome. And this is back in the 90s. I worked for a period on a video game magazine and had the opportunity to go to Skywalker Ranch, like where they had like LucasArts, and it was like going to, Skywalker Ranch back then was like freaking amazing. But like, yeah, covering that stuff was cool. And those games, I don't know if you remember TIE Fighter or X-Wing, those, and then all like they did like these spin-off like mission packs, like B-Wing and whatnot. Yeah. It was TIE Fighter was one of the greatest games I've ever played. And they've got to come out with some sort of next-gen version of it, because what was cool about TIE Fighter was they took key battles like through the original Star Wars trilogy, but from the Empire's point of view. So like, you'd have like, generals telling you like how you're going to defeat these scum rebels. And so you could create a different outcome. It's such a great story. Eventually, you work your way up to the Emperor and he's giving you orders. And it's like the story, God, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere, all this, but you can watch like the story for it was like so awesome. It was like, oh, this is from the side of the Empire. Like you saw the entire exact same story play out, but differently. It was great. So sorry for that rant, but
no, I've heard of TIE Fighter. I heard of that game.
Yeah,
I remember Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, which were
see, that's the
best.
That was the best one. When it got to like the it looks sort of like weird, almost like the Gary A. Larson, like those marionettes, but they're CG animated.
Yeah,
I didn't like heads. I did not like Clone Wars when it went digital. The Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars was amazing. They even did, before Revenge of the Sith came out, I don't know if you remember, there was like a prequel, like a story leading up to Revenge of the Sith. It was awesome. I actually prefer the because there were these self-contained stories about this sweeping war, and Clone Wars for me, the CG animated one just got too drama. Whenever it gets like too drama and it becomes like a CW show, I don't care.
No,
they're great episodes. They did the characters better than the movies did.
They did.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Disney's not very good at making shit. It's pretty fucking clear, and it's just the strength of the Star Wars brand. But that's fading. You could feel it. Can you feel it? All right. Speaking of, can you feel it? Let's go take a look at this trailer.
What's this?
Let's see where it's at now. It's still at 1.4. Okay. Hang on, I'll get there. I'll get there. Boom, ba-doop, ba-doop, boom.
So do they keep removing them then?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Are they going down again?
Even that has to be one of the worst ratios. Am I right? I mean, that and the
That's
Gillette
pretty bad.
You know?
So they haven't messed with anything else. They've just, that I know of. I've checked a couple of places, but not like every single one. But we are now missing, let's get down here, 6,000 more comments, because I was at 51.
Wow. So they just have an intern just delete.
So, and they're doing like 5,000 every couple days now.
That poor intern.
Hollis Sims says, remember, guys, removing dislikes was for small creators. You know what? They got rid of. Okay, now they're coming back.
I was gonna say the quote. They
got rid of it. Yeah, they got rid of they're plucking the quote.
So now they're deleting comments?
Yes, they are.
Oh God.
In massive numbers.
But as the theme progressed, it came into the heart of Melkor to interweave matters of his own, imagining that we were not in accord with the theme of Iluvatar. God, by the way. For he sought therein to increase the power and glory of the part assigned to himself, the Silmarillion, J.R.R. Tolkien. In other words, Melkor was jealous. He was jealous, and he wanted a world of his own. Basically, so the world was created with the song. So he kept mixing in his own song of discord, and then Iluvatar had to like restart, to create the world. And I mean, he couldn't get rid of Melkor because, I mean, they were all part of him. And, he gave him a lot of chances, eventually having to imprison him into the void. But that's what Amazon is. 1.8 million dislikes is music to my ears, such that has not been heard since the, oh my God, N. Ulendale. As an avid Tolkien fan, I am heartened and encouraged that the true Tolkien fans reject this abomination as much as I do. True Tolkien fans stand together against the perversion of our beloved professor's work. Ooh, he gets a like. Or Sapphire.
Yeah.
She. Sorry. It's phenomenal, kind of what's going on. I check it every day.
They just didn't know. They didn't know what they were messing with when they did this. They did not know. They know now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Lord of the Rings like normies. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of people who watched the movies, but they seem to respect it as much as people who respect the books. I think, I know those movies like got a lot of people to read the entire series. I think more people are reading the entire series now, which is great because they're going to know good from bad. And people are reading the Silmarillion. This is a good thing. This is all a good thing. And we have to root for fucking Warner Brothers. That's who we have to which makes me feel a little weird, I have to admit. But they're the ones stopping Amazon from taking it all over. Because something's going on with those Saul's Ants rights, right? So say Amazon gets them through either working with Saul's Ants or just fucking buying it outright. They still can't just go make a Lord of the Rings and they might be able to make a Hobbit, but they can't do a Lord of the Rings. Not yet, anyway. Because Warner Brothers still thinks they have the distribution rights. So that has to get worked out. That could take years. And that's like the kind of litigation I am completely for. If it stops Amazon from destroying more Tolkien, I am for it. And like, how sad is it that we're like, I wanted to see, I want to see like an Elric movie. I want to see another Conan movie someday, but not from these clowns. I'd rather see it from some like a fan thing now, to be honest with you, or another country, because damn, Hollywood is.
Well, I don't even understand why you would even try and make another Lord of the Rings. Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy is the perfect trilogy. You're never going to get anything better than that. So why even try? Like you just said, do something else. Do something that's never been adapted. Like Elric, go to there. Why are you trying to further adapt something that's already been peak adapted? Like you can't get better
and
than
Elric will give
Lord
you
of the
everything
Rings.
you want. You want tits and freaking incest and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, you want
Elric's
your
got
Game
it.
of Thrones rip off? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
you could form over there. I don't want you to rip it off, though.
It's Game of Thrones ripped off Elric. So
that's true.
Yeah.
You're going back to the OG.
But it's weird that we don't, and I mean this is a positive thing, we don't talk about the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy all that often because it's so to me like a perfect trilogy, right? Like I experienced it seeing it in theaters, right? Every year it was like Christmas, right? It was like a gift.
Yep.
Like, we're going to get to see another one, just building up to, Return of the King. It was just like, it was like a not to be repeated thing. It was like untainted. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that like Peter Jackson made it in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So that
back to back.
Yeah. Like it was harder to mess with him, I guess, back then. But like, we don't talk about it all that often because it's so like, it's one of those things you can like, you just put it on and it's like comfort food, right? It's like, it's just so awesome. But to like, I feel like The Hobbit, I did not love The Hobbit. I know I'm not alone in that, but I forgive him. He was trying to try some new stuff out. It should have been one movie, right? That's it. One movie. But this just looks like, I don't know. There's like nothing in it that to me is compelling. And that particular shot where you're frozen on Gary right now, where like, that looks just like fake. That looks like effects I could do in my living room with a green screen. I'm not joking.
No,
like
you're right.
That looks
you could do better effects than this.
They really blew rolling this out. Like they thought that they were going to get so much traction at the Super Bowl, and it just, I think a lot of people, didn't even know what it was. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, they were looking for something familiar.
Yeah,
and like if you were smart, you would go with something familiar, like an Elrond. Right. Have him be in some in familiar clothing. But no, if you look at the clothing for Elrond too, it's very feminine. He's got like wings for shoulders and stuff, and like, and it might be ceremonial and it might work, but what they chose to do is show the female in the masculine and the male in the feminine. That was a deliberate decision. They like, of all the footage they had, they're like, no, this is the message we're trying to send. They wanted to show in their first trailer with the first black elf, he had to have a chain around his fucking ankle. I mean, fucking come on. Right? Really? This is Lord of the Rings? And you went on the attack from the get-go. It was your fourth or fifth paragraph in the Vanity Fair article that you fucking approved, and then you had to come and spin on. And then they got smart and they shut up. They shut up. Because they know they have a fucking disaster on their hands. And like, I've talked to, I don't know, I'm sure you've talked to people, Chris. I've talked to people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Things are not good. They I mean, they're not going to cancel it. But I mean, people aren't safe. I mean, don't think people are safe. They cancel shit all the time in Amazon. They are there to make money, and it's supposed to bring in subscribers. That's what this thing is supposed to do, is bring in subscribers. Lots of them. Like, this is their crown jewel. And wouldn't it be funny if something like Reacher like outdoes it, like it outdid Wheel of Time, which is hilarious. I don't know.
Man,
we're gonna have another trailer at some point. I know that.
Maybe they may just shut up.
Maybe
they've got to, though, right?
Maybe they'll go all in at San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe San Diego Comic-Con, they do a big Hall H thing, and they time it. That would make sense, right? It comes out in what, early September?
I think didn't the One Ring say that they're doing another con? They kind of insinuated they're going to be there.
Oh, real? Okay. All right.
I think they insinuated. I'm not sure if they outright said it though.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to wait.
I'd be afraid if I was them to show up to a con with this massive backlash that they have.
Oh, they threaten you.
They should be afraid. They should be afraid.
They say
very afraid.
They should because the threat used to be like, if you ask one of these questions and you get kicked out, you could like be kicked out forever. I don't care. I'll be kicked out forever. I'll go ask a question.
Kicked out forever? What, from San Diego Comic-Con?
I would love to ask him, what was behind your decision of premiering it on the day of Tolkien's death? Like, what exactly did you mean by that? Are you trying to
I wonder if they even knew if that might be a coincidence, right? Like that's how ill-informed they are. They didn't research it.
That's a crazy coincidence.
That's a weird. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think they probably think it's honoring him.
Really? I don't know.
That's what I think too. I mean, why not premiere it on the date of his wife's death? You know,
let's just go down the line.
Right. Shit.
Season 2.
God, it's tasteless. But that's what these people are. They're tasteless. They're classless. They have no fucking respect. And we're just talking about a story. So everybody loves to conflate like all of our world beliefs based on how we feel about like Lord of the Rings, right? Like I just want Lord of the Rings to be good and look right. And I don't want it to be used for social engineering, which is clearly what is going on here. Like that's without a doubt. That is a fucking fact based on the 1-minute trailer that so many, I mean, you heard the first responses, right? From a lot of people like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? And I, thanks to Az, I was able to see this thing early, like 3 weeks early. He showed, so I saw it like on another screen. So it was like watching it, like somebody had a camera pointed at a screen. So it was hard to see the special effects, but I got to see all of this and I just went, oh, fuck. I didn't expect to be right about everything. Maybe one or two things. I didn't expect them to go Warrior Galadriel like off the bat. And it's silly. And a lot of this is like, that's the Frost Fangs right there that she's climbing. I'm guessing. So it's the flight of the Noldor, which is not even taking place in the Second Age. So it's part of a prequel. It's part of a probably epilogue that they're going to do 2. I think they're doing 1 or 2 episodes, I was told. That's going to be pre-Second Age, kind of setting everything up. And the first season's really setting everything up. You're not even going to see Sauron. There's going to be some twist at the end. There's going to be another villain, apparently. Now, I mean, these are rumors. I can't verify any of this, so who knows? I've heard there's going to be LGBTQ plus representation in it. And it will be obvious.
Of course.
Yes. So, wow.
They'll cut it out for the China audience.
The Chinese audience. Does Amazon get it? Is Amazon Prime in China? In China. There's our Sylvan Elf. Yeah.
Okay, who is that?
Okay, well,
is that supposed to be? I don't know who that face is.
I have no fucking idea.
I thought it was Galadriel for a second, but I was like, no, that's
no. It's who would be my best guess? I don't know. Maybe her brother. Well, so okay. Well, so
yeah, who's
there's
her
brothers? 2 brothers.
Right?
There's 2 brothers, but one of them's not going to be in it. So it's one of her brothers. Maybe. Is it an elf?
Kind of
it looks like it's an elf. They covered his ears but in the second part they don't.
But it looks like a similar costuming that
he's got
Galadriel
short
has.
Fucking hair. Well, it's okay. So can it be her brothers? It can't be her brothers because they were killed. So maybe they're showing them getting killed.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like the costuming is similar to her climbing the Frost Fangs. So maybe it's the same situation. I don't know. And they're messing around with the whole timeline.
Yeah, but they might show like the War of Wrath a little bit. That's the kind of shit I'd be like, yes, show me the War of Wrath. That'd be fucking awesome to see Melkor just that'd be fucking rad. But
yeah,
no, they're not going to do that.
Open the show with that. That'd be awesome.
I'm just saying it might be one of her bros. They are adding characters to the Numenors. Numenorians, sorry. My wife just scared the shit out of me. Jesus Christ. She tapped my arm with a smoothie. God. Thanks, babe. Okay. So they're adding Numenorians, right? So they're giving, I'm trying to go off the top of my head. They're giving somebody a sister A Sildor. Yeah, they're giving him a sister. They're giving.
You predicted that one too.
They're giving him a sister who's probably going to lead him around. He's a sailor for some reason. I mean, okay, fine, whatever. But they're adding a bunch of Numenorians, and I think the time they're going to set it is going to be here. Well, here, let me look up. I'm sorry, I don't know the ages off the top of my head. So please, the exact years. So hang on. I got to see. Ruling. It's going to be during. Is it Tartelperin? Maybe her reign. Yeah, there's going to be a black female queen at some point. just say it. I'll just get to the point. There's going to be a black female queen of Numenor. Now
they can't resist the black Numenorians. Yeah. They have to.
Yeah, and the black Numenorians were not black. They were bad.
Yeah,
they were bad.
That's coded white supremacy.
They're gonna. I don't know. I mean, that's the female queen. I heard that they were gonna turn into a black female queen. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out in the next trailer. Apparently. But no. The one thing that was the most ridiculous was that I predicted that Warrior Galadriel will be leading an all-female battalion of Numenorians to fight Sauron, and then they beat him. Yeah.
Wow.
Christ's sake.
It's everything you predicted and worse.
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I
stop predicting things.
I'm gonna stop.
You're making them
giving them
real.
ideas.
They're watching the streams and going, "Yes, let's write that down."
This happened
do that.
When we heard Spock was going to be in Star Trek Discovery. Like everybody was like, "Oh Christ, Michael Burnham is going to make him the Vulcan he was," and sure as shit, they did it. Like I was like, God damn it, no, no, yeah. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised though. They made Han Solo a bad dad, and then he got killed by his own son, and it was his fault. They basically made it his fault and not the mom's fault. Luke Skywalker quit on the Jedi, his family, the planet, sucked out booby milk. Like, and like they really made it a point to, they spent $1 million on a 20-foot puppet where the tits are down by the balls, and they had him squeeze the titty balls to get milk out, and he went, with a big tit behind him. And it's like, there's no, and people were like, what are you talking about? What messaging? What messaging?
What? I don't know. This is awesome.
Right. It's like you guys are the dinosaurs, and you're looking at the pretty light that is the meteor descending on you, and you're going, "What's that? There's nothing wrong here." Yeah, and then he overdoses on the Force. So yeah, are we surprised if they, just, I don't know, get rid of Celebrimbor? No, I think he'll be there. They said he's going to be there. But they're going to get rid of some male characters, and they'll probably have like Warrior Galadriel do most of it.
They're going to downplay Celebrimbor. They're going to say, "Oh, well, he did the manual labor, but really it was all planned out by Galadriel.
No,
she was the one that she wrote up all the plans for all the rings."
She's hunting orc. They said she's going to be like an orc slayer.
Her sword is broken because she's killed so many orcs.
Well,
she's full of piss and vinegar.
They never said she didn't hunt orc.
Yeah, well, technically,
Tolkien didn't say a lot of stuff. He didn't describe Galadriel taking a shit either. But we assume she did. Yeah. But I don't think she I think it would be important if, like, during her off years, she was hunting and slaying orc. That would have been kind of an interesting thing to put in. And I think he would have put it in. Fuck.
Yeah, it's kind of a big thing for a person.
Gets me mad all over again. That's what it does. Fandom, you just keep going. We love you. You keep going. Oh my God, Chris has to be quiet to these parts.
Well, I'm being quiet because any opinion I would add is going to be ill-informed. I'm listening to the experts. That's what we're supposed to do these days. But you guys know way more about this stuff. Than I just like, look, love Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy. You know, the original trilogy. I'm calling it the original trilogy.
It is now.
Oh, dude, it's going to be in the future. They're going to remake
Peter
it.
Jackson trilogy is, you know, to me, flawless. Like that first movie, and that first movie is just so getting chills thinking about the first time I saw it. Like, it was just so like, just the, you know, the interaction like with the hobbits and just the world building and the music and just everything about it was like, well, it was insane. It was just, it was a phenomenon. I don't need to tell either of you that, but like this, I just don't know that a streaming show is going to have like the cultural footprint or interest.
No,
I don't know.
No way.
You know? And after Game of Thrones, like, are people going to care? Right. Like, I mean,
that's got to factor into it. That's got to factor. You know, it's I think it was Lofty Pixels put up a tweet last night saying, I don't know what he was responding to. I don't know what I'm old. I'm an old. So I don't know what half of you are responding to. I don't know what half of you are saying on Twitter. I don't understand most of it. But I think what he was getting at was people are starting to say that they didn't like Game of Thrones at all. I don't know if many people are saying that. Like, but we were talking about it on the Real BBC yesterday too. We were like, no, it was really fucking good. It was really fucking good for a little while there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really looked forward to Sunday at 6, hanging out with my friends, watching Game of Thrones, and then fucking bullshitting about it afterwards. It was, and I
would watch your videos after. I would watch your videos.
Oh my God, those are old.
Oh yeah.
No, it was great.
It was like a religious experience almost. Y'all get together on Sunday. We did it, my wife and I, we did it so much that even when we were out on a trip at my grandparents' house, out in the middle of the boonies, man, I'm talking like the smallest town of West Texas, we were out in our car watching it on my phone because that's all we had. And we were like watching the episode of Game of Thrones. It was huge. And
it was fun.
The fall was so hard.
Unbelievable.
So hard. Unbelievable. Yeah.
And you could see it coming. I mean, hindsight's made it much better. But Dan and Dave came out in Texas about a year afterwards and admitted like, hey, we had no idea what we were doing. We were learning on the fly. We read the book once. And they clearly didn't understand the story. Like, they had read the book. They knew enough about the book. But, like, the book does require multiple readings. I don't know if anybody's willing to put that kind of commitment. But I liked it, so I didn't have a problem with it. With stuff I like, I will read it, and watch it all the time. But they clearly missed the point at the end. They just wanted to be done. They just wanted to be done. And
that's clear. That's clear. Really clear. How they were just like, wrap it up. Let's go. Shorter and shorter seasons.
What it did, Chris and Garrett, is it did fuck the genre quite a bit. Like, I don't know if people are going to come back. Yes, there's going to be some people desperate for Game of Thrones who are going to probably watch House of the Dragon. But do you think 20 million people are going to watch it live? No, it's not going to have that.
No way.
It was like HBO's Sunday night was a huge deal to watch it. Then you would go and I'd watch Emergency Awesome. I'd watch then like talking about it. I stayed off social media, like just like you don't want to know anything until you actually can see the episode. It was huge. And Disney's trying to do that with their Disney Plus shows. And you virtually see like no traction now. I mean, WandaVision had traction kind of. It was just like, that was the first Disney Plus series. It's like, and it was at the beginning, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I liked that it was weird. Then when you got to what the core of the story was, it was stupid. And I just felt insulted by how dumb it was. Like, oh, okay. And I never watched the finale of WandaVision. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm at the point now where I just don't want to ruin the shit for myself. It's like, I want to leave it untainted, but like, I don't know, like, how can they build that? I feel like this is why they had all those international experts, scholars, where they made those videos. They were trying to drum up all the things that happened organically, the organic fandom centered around Game of Thrones, that just happened, right? And you cannot manufacture that shit. You can't make that.
You can't
do it. And now what's weird is if you watch episodes of Game of Thrones on the HBO Max, see, I'll say that because I'm old. They always do those little things at the end where they dissect the episode, and I'm mad at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking at,
no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest mistakes they're making is they're not releasing it at a set time. Like that's a huge mistake. Yes. I think with going weekly, when I saw streaming coming, I knew like the Netflix model was not a good model. Like I know the impatient person loves it, but I'm thinking it from a business side. And I'm like, if you want to have a cultural show, if you want to, everybody wants a Game of Thrones. They want their water cooler show. There's two things you need. It needs to be out weekly and it needs to come out at the same time. And it also needs to be fucking good. But aside from that, it needs to come out weekly and it needs to come out at the same time every day. Like a Thursday, 5 o'clock. That's your day. Then you have a bunch of people watching it at the same time, talking about it at the same time, creating hype for it at the same time. And then other people go, oh, FOMO, that sounds good. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to watch it next week with all those people. And they're going to watch it together at the same time. That's how you can have a water cooler show. Game of Thrones was probably the last one. It was probably the last one. When did they release Moon Knight today? My time? 1:50 in the morning. Why?
Horrible time.
Like, that's fucking dumb. Like, why? Like, let's sneak it on everybody. Let's release it when nobody's watching it. We're fucking geniuses. Like, what the fuck? It's like Hollywood is so fucking retarded. They really are. And it's like, it's the easiest thing to figure out. I've been talking about it for like 3 years on this channel. And Amazon finally, like, went to the weekly model because they saw that Disney went to the weekly model because they knew it was smart. Now they have to start making good shit again. Like if you make woke crap, doesn't matter if you're dropping it all at once or weekly, it's fucking crap. So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter when you release it.
But if you accidentally make something good, you know, and you make it like when Better Call Saul comes out, unless that goes fucking woke, who knows? They're going to release it weekly on AMC. It's going to be huge. And that essentially will probably, but like Better Call Saul never hit the heights that, you know, Breaking Bad did. Let's be real. It's good. I
feel like when it comes to, you know, like storytelling, right? I think that makes sense, Gary. Once a week, set time, totally makes sense. But for a show like Is It Cake? I think you can drop all the episodes, and if you binge it, you binge it. I want to do a version of Is It Cake where they just sneak a human in there. So when you take the knife, there's that tension.
What is It Cake?
Like, oh, Is It Cake?
Have you seen that Is It Cake?
No, it's a person.
For it? It's so freaking weird. Like the whole thing is they make these cakes that look like real life things. But what I think is you just put a human, you have a bunch of human heads. One of them is cake and one of them is a person. Okay, this is a bad horror movie that I'm pitching right now. But yeah, for reality shows, drop it all at once. When it comes to long form storytelling, because the thing is you want time to digest, discuss, right? Like I think that was the fun of Game of Thrones, was coming up with theories or people watching episodes 3 times and finding, well, unfortunately Starbucks cups, but also like watching episodes and like, oh, did you notice this? Like certain it's great to have that period of time to have the discussion. It's just like, look, you worked at a comic shop, you know, you owned a comic shop. One of the best things is going to a comic shop and just talking to people, that conversation. And you miss out on that conversation when you drop all the episodes at once. I think it's stupid.
Well, you miss it because you don't know. I don't know if you've seen it, the entire thing. I don't know if you've seen 2 episodes or 3 episodes. I can't discuss things because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
There's no way to like get together and talk about things.
So you either need to like, absolutely, if you're going to stick with the streaming model, if you guys are going to support it, then stop saying the word spoilers. Just stop. Just end it, because you're supporting something that's dropping all at once. Not everybody's going to see it the same time you are. If they watched it first and they want to talk about it, let them talk about it. Like, dude, I got everything spoiled for me. Like everything. Cause I didn't have time to watch everything on time because I was working at the comic store. So I was like behind on everything. And they come in. I remember the day guy comes in fucking bawling. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Collect yourself. Oh, no. You're a fucking grown man. And he's all, Dumbledore's dead. And I'm like, oh, thanks, asshole.
Sir, sit down.
Fucking, I don't even sell Dumbledore here. Why you tell me that shit? I just read it on my spare time.
Oh my God.
Fucking, God damn it. The guy's a game designer too. It's like, collect yourself, man. Jesus. Yeah. It's part of the game. I think, well, I mean, we're talking about like if things will turn around, and I'm starting to, I mean, yes, things are changing. I don't know how many like franchises are going to survive. Like Star Trek might be able to survive if it resets in 10 years. Star Wars, never going to survive. Disney will be the last company that changes anything. Disney is the company that like wanted to like still go to discos and like wear disco like fucking garb in like 1987. Okay, that's what fucking Disney is. They will.
We're still cool, guys. We're still cool.
They wanted to roller disco in 1988. Yeah, it's like they'll be the last one to change. I think other companies will beat them to it and crush them and fucking crush them. And I think, no, I know they stepped way over the line. Like what they did. Chapek is dead man walking. By the way. Whether it's fair or not, doesn't matter. He's a dead man walking. He's got no power.
No, I agree. Like just seeing his sort of hobbling and not being a leader. That's not lead. You know your audience, and your audience at its core, you know, it really is parents, right?
Yep.
It's parents and kids, and sort of passing on like, hey, I watched Disney growing up. When the first movie I ever took my daughter to in a theater was The Lion King. I mean, and she was little, but understood sort of the basic, you know what was going on. And it's just like, you want to pass that on. Right. And I don't know that that company can't be trusted now.
No,
it's weird. It's so strange to see this. Like, never thought in my lifetime I'd see like a company just being irresponsible with their core audience. To what end?
It's good customer service. It's like a market. Over time, you build in a customer base that continues to come to your store, and they pass it down to their family and go, well, I always shopped at, Jim Bob's market. So is my son. And then his son, they shop there too. And then their family shops there, and then their kids shop there. You build that up. And that's what Disney had for decades and decades and decades.
Jim Bob's market wanted to talk to your 4-year-old about sexuality.
Yep. As soon as they walked up to the front, they started handing out leaflets about genital mutilation. It's like, whoa. I just want to get some groceries. What's going on?
That's like HEB, like up here in Texas. It's got everything. Like you can get somebody.
That's a family store.
It's a family store. You can get somebody to murder somebody there. You can get like tile. You can get insurance. You can get tickets. You can get registration. It's like amazing.
Do they sell guns?
And you can also get. No, do they sell guns? Maybe. And pretty soon they'll be able to transition your kids. Trans kids. There's a term called trans kids. That's fucking no. I'm not using that language. That is
I'm going to use the old term. It's called child
abuse. Yeah, that's what I call it. Child abuse.
Have you seen that Beto wearing that shirt? You know what I'm talking about with the
Beta?
Texas.
You mean Francis?
Yeah. So I was talking to Ryan Cannell. He has a shirt now.
Yeah.
That says I'm telling you, they need to do a version of that shirt that's don't mess with my kids, because that's the one thing, like, just as, hey, this is the parent stream, right? We're talking, it is the only thing, I don't fear a lot in life. I got one fear, any harm coming to my kids. And that is something that I don't care what the law is. You harm my kid, I don't care what the law is. I think that there is a sleeping giant, that a constituency that is parents with kids that are, I feel like that has been awakened because of this. This is the, like, they say, like, where's the line? This is the line for me.
Yep.
This is the line for me. The line has been reached. I mean, like, little kids being spoken to about inappropriate stuff, which I forget. I was listening to some other stream, and if you talk to some of these kids the way some of these teachers talk, and you just like went to a park and talked to a kid, you'd be arrested. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's inappropriate.
I just, when you're taking away my right to be able to be the parent, and I had my conflicts with a couple teachers. I had one teacher that wanted to put my kid on Ritalin. I'm like, I'm not drugging my kid. My kid's a boy, and boys get whatever, boys get, they do boy stuff, and they're kind of hyper, whatever, they go through phases. fine. I'm not giving my kid drugs because you're a shitty teacher.
Yep.
You know, and frankly, you know, my girlfriend's a teacher. She teaches 4th grade, and I show her some of these videos and she cannot believe it. Now, it has not infected her school. It's not affected her school at all. But she is old school. Like, there's certain like places she won't shop because she knows she'll run into some of the kids from her school. She doesn't want to see them in public, right? She's like, she is such a pro. I'm here to teach you these things, math, whatever, all this stuff. And she is tough. But like, I show her these like young teachers, like, you're not there for therapy for yourself. Like, this stuff is incredibly disturbing.
Yeah. And
it seems to be rampant, you know, there's like, so I don't know how I feel about it where are the adults in the room? And by adults, I mean the administration saying that these are policies, this can't be tolerated, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's poisoned by universities. It's just filled by people who've been poisoned by universities. We need like normal fucking people running schools again. And I think that's what's going to end up happening is just parents are going to go on their own. And that is happening. There's going to be a cottage industry pretty soon for schools. Now, you need to be careful. You need to vet people there too. Doesn't mean you don't vet people there. The predators are everywhere. And that's what people always need to keep in mind. The predators are everywhere. They're in the coaching ranks. They're in the teaching ranks. They're anywhere where kids are. Okay.
You gotta make, like, when my kids started school, right? They went to this public school in the Pasadena area, and not a great school. It was, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I could like tell, like, not so. For a brief period, we put our kids into a private school, religious school, just for a time, and then we moved specifically to a place that had we had checked out the schools. It was like, great, we want a house. This is when your kids are little, you know, like you want to give them the best shot. And we moved to a place that had like, okay, we knew like elementary, junior high, high school, they're going to go through. This is a really highly rated school system. We checked that out. And then we looked for a house in that area so they'd be in that school system. But like, it's the only thing, like, and I think, you know, look, if you're a good parent, like, and this is why when you read these stories and you're like, someone did something to someone's daughter, and then like the father does something terrible to the perpetrator, and you're like, oh, I understand that feeling. That's why I think the Taken movies are so popular, right? They keep remaking
it's dad porn
because it's dad porn.
You're like, I do the exact same thing.
I got a special set of skills.
But I just wonder, like there hasn't been a lot of study into like what is the thinking behind, because I feel the kids are innocent, right? The kids are being exposed to things they shouldn't be at too early of an age. They're, you know, like, where are the parents in this? And the thing that seems to be consistent, it's not scientific, by personal observation, is it just seems to be homes without a dad, where you have a mom that cares about social media affirmation a lot. And you see sort of weak-willed fathers and or no father is where this seems to thrive. So
it's stigmatizing being a male and being a leader, and it's also stigmatizing being in a family, and like the nuclear family, staying together, taking care of their kids, moving it down the line.
Yes, there is a concerted effort to.
We take care of our own. Okay.
I just saw Ryan sitting there.
That's
look at it. Look, he's getting a little redhead. That's like his old man.
All right. Oh my God.
All of our hair pieces suck, by the way.
We need to work on that.
We need to go wherever Elon goes, because you know Elon's bald as a cue ball, right?
Oh,
Elon Musk. Yeah, he's bald as a cue ball.
You see those old PayPal photos?
Mm-hmm.
Little wispy.
Hey, man, he's got, like, the hair looks good. I got to give him that. Like, it looks pretty. It's probably real. He probably bought somebody's scalp. Put it on.
Just give me that man's scalp.
Give me
Put
that
it on my
man's
head.
scalp.
I'm super excited about Elon Musk taking over Twitter. If that happens, like Twitter, I post and ghost, right? Like I don't do a lot of interaction on Twitter.
It's the best way to go.
But like, if he comes in, it can actually have an influence that could not just influence Twitter, influence the culture, and force people to have conversations with common sense. I just feel like this is what's lacking, right?
Like that wave is starting to happen, and we do have to wrap things up soon. But
sorry, Gary.
No, it's okay. But that Bill Maher was just on fucking Joe Rogan, so Bill Maher's been sounding like really logical lately, hasn't he? Hasn't he sounded logical now that the fucking winds of change are blowing up his ass? Yeah. We're starting to see, and again, I don't mean to sound super jaded. I know a lot of people like what Russell Brand's saying, and I like what he's saying too. And if it's genuine change, that's a good thing. But I'm just noticing, I'm seeing a couple guys who were on the other side not too long ago starting to speak my language.
Yeah, it meander their way over.
Yeah, it kind of has something to do with wanting to stay alive, wanting to be relevant. Like, I don't care what happens out of this. If we get back to common sense, I'm good. You got to fight to keep it there too. But we're still a long way to go. But I like seeing Bill Maher coming out and all of a sudden sounding like fucking libertarian. Remember when he said he was a libertarian once? He said he was in the middle. He said he was in a libertarian. This was like fucking 20 years ago. Yeah, he goes with, and that's why he's stuck around for so long. But this is also the guy who clowned Dennis Prager, who said, that the men menstruate, and they almost laughed him off the fucking show. And here we are now. Which Bill Maher, to his credit, almost brought up in that Joe Rogan interview. I think we're gonna win. I don't know if any franchises are going to survive. I do think all eyes. I think culturally, if you're into nerd stuff, keep your eyes on two things. And this is where we'll leave. We're going to read some super chats before we go. Doctor Who. Chris Chibnall came out recently and said they're just going to ignore it. And he kind of said it flippantly, like, oh, they'll just ignore everything I did. No, he knows. Like, he's friends with Russell T. Davies. He knows Russell T. Davies is coming in to fix his mess. He says he's not coming back. Good. We don't want him back. And I fully believe they will just ignore the Jodie era, which means she won't be in the 60th anniversary, which is a good sign. I think keep an eye on that and see what happens. To me, ignoring it simply isn't enough. I think you need to make a special episode to erase the Timeless Children. That needs to happen. If you're not a Doctor Who fan, what they did to Doctor Who was actually worse than what they did to Star Wars and what they did to Star Trek. They changed the entire origin of the show to fit in intersectional feminism. They made the first Doctor, said there was 12 Doctors. They made the first Doctor, who was William Hartnell, a little black girl. They just retconned the whole fucking thing. Said that she was just dropped out of a dimensional portal and somebody found a little black girl and that was the first Doctor. Okay. That was fucking stupid. They had no dialogue to the scene. They just did it in a voiceover. And it pissed off everybody. And then, the ratings were going down anyway, and then they just dropped. And now nobody likes the show anymore. So they made a very desperate move. They went to essentially the more modern George Lucas of Doctor Who and begged for him to come back, and he came back. So keep an eye on that. And what we were talking about earlier, keep an eye on Comic-Con. I think Comic-Con is going to be a big sign of the health of all of our favorite things, all things genre. And if a lot of people don't go, if Marvel and DC aren't there, if Hollywood isn't there, that will tell you everything you need to know. I think of the health of the industry. They were able to hide so much during COVID. They hid all the fucking numbers. They made excuses for all the films. But, a pretty well-received Batman movie is not going to hit $1 billion for whatever reason. Probably length. Although length has never been a problem with, well, at least the ladies, right?
Hey.
But, and they love their Robert Pattinson. But we'll see. We'll see how Doctor Strange does. Doctor Who. But I think the two cultural things you got to keep an eye on. I think Lord of the Rings is going to get fucking crushed. I don't think it stands a chance. Personally, I could be wrong.
No way in hell.
I don't think it stands a fucking chance. So I don't think that would be. I think that's one of your cultural turning points you keep an eye on. But that's already happened. The fans are fucking clearly winning on this one, and it's a rout, and it's fucking awesome. They had to delete 1.6 million dislikes just to get it down to 1.4 million. That's huge. That's awesome.
Why? Almost like, why would you even try? Like, you have to delete so many.
What's the point? Okay. We got P. It's just simply P. Great show, guys, for $20. Thank you very much. And that's on the donation side. That's circumventing Mama Susan. We love that. The Rand Man for $3 says, the only bad thing I can say about Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, was the first time I saw it in the theaters, the multiple endings started to annoy me because I needed to pee for the first hour. Well, that's a you problem. That's not a Lord of the Rings problem, buddy. Take a pee before you go to a movie. But that's okay. I'm sure you liked them when you didn't have to pee. I'm betting you didn't, because I fucking love them. I love those endings. Are perfect. They're perfect. You couldn't have done it any other way. You had to end this thing epically. All right. All the there's 3 extended versions. They're over 4 hours long. All right. So that's a miniseries.
Yeah.
That's a miniseries. A long miniseries. It's longer than Moon Knight season 1, twice as long as Moon Knight season 1. Longer than Hawkeye, longer than WandaVision. Longer than any Disney Plus series. Longer than Game of Thrones season 1. So you really spent time. You gave a shit about these characters. You wanted to give them a proper goodbye. And did you feel sad at the end? Did you feel a little sad that it was over? You did, because you loved it. That's how you're supposed to feel when you see something great.
As a kid, I was like, why is the movie ending so many times? Now I watch it, I don't feel the different endings. It's all one big ending, because you have to wrap up each one of those little story threads, or else you feel like you're like, where did Sam? What happened to Sam? Did he get something?
They don't even really tell you what happened.
What happened to Frodo? Oh, nice.
Gimli and Legolas. They don't give them a goodbye.
That's true.
And they went out and broed out and traveled Middle Earth together. Of course, nowadays they just fall in love. But whatever. Daniel for $50 says the Triple G. Gary, Garrett, Gore. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Show needs to happen regularly. It will. Chris Gore is a fantastic guest. He's brilliant, by the way. Loved the T-shirt on Garrett this morning in third chair. Top 3 moments that proved Marvel Comics were dead. One more day, Nazi Cap, female Thor. You are correct. I didn't even we got the female Thor a little bit. You are correct. Now, Nazi Cap, it's the worst. One more day. Nazi Cap was the worst. One more day was bad. Female Thor was bad. There's more. Oh, there's a lot more. I can't bore you with it though. Someday I'll get to where they fucked up and who they fucked up in the comics. Hey, Civil War. Tony Stark. They fucked up Tony Stark in that comic, I think. But thank you, Daniel, for the $50. If they would have fixed Peter Parker's identity from Civil War in the comic book the way they did in No Way Home, it was a much better way. A much better way. That's how everybody thought it was going to happen, by the way. They're like, he'll just go to Doctor Strange. He'll go to Doctor Strange. He never went to Doctor Strange. It's like, he knows Doctor Strange. He can do shit like that. He can go to Reed Richards. He could figure out a scientific way to do it. RIP. Oh yeah. I'm sorry we didn't mention this. Matt 317. Thank you for the $5. Rest in peace, the great Gilbert Godfrey.
Yes,
among
sir.
a lot of things, he was a great Mixoplex from Superman the Animated Series. Oh, that's right.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He was a great comedian.
Yeah, one of the legends.
Complete legend. And we've lost 3 great ones this year. It's very, very sad. Very sad.
Yeah. Going to the great comedy club in the sky.
Yep. Yeah, they're hanging out. They're all hanging out with each other. Jinx McNinja for $10 says, as someone who wants to have a family someday, I'm totally with you guys. Don't fuck with my kids, and we're gonna have problems. Period. End of story. And when some of you eventually become parents, if you're not, the one thing that kicks in, a lot of instinctual stuff kicks in. It's weird, not explainable at all. But the one thing is that there's a constant level. It's like there's a program in the back of your mind running in the background at all times, day or night, when you're asleep or awake, whatever you're fucking doing, you're constantly worried about your kids.
Yep.
So it's like a low level one. It's a concern. I won't say worry. I wouldn't use the word worry, but your mind is always like, how is this going to affect my kids? What am I like? Every action is, how is this going to affect my kids?
It's like tinnitus. It's always there.
Yep.
You can kind of ignore it sometimes, you know, because it feeds in, but it's always there.
Yep.
Even whenever you're not around your kids, I have like deep down primal fear. I was at a cliff. I was like looking at the nice scenery, and then I just had a parent fear. Oh my God, what would happen if my son was right here? He could fall off. I'm like, he's like hundreds of miles away.
Yep. Oh, that shit happens.
You just have that instinctual parent fear, man.
No.
It's a weird thing. I used to have a photographic memory before my kids were born. After my kids are born, I can actually date it to that. Like that's when my memory started to go just not as great, right? Okay. So, but they say that like for some parents, it's like, I don't know if you remember this, like with a hard drive, it's like it'll sequester a certain part of your brain just to be concerned with your children, right? Like, so that's when my memory started to go bad as soon as I had kids. It's weird. No, I totally feel what you guys are saying.
Mine was drugs. I was kind of a bright kid till I did a bunch of drugs. Now I'm Swiss cheese brain. Yeah. David Demuth for $5 says TMZ is reporting Joe Gatt, a Disney and Game of Thrones actor, has been arrested for sexual crimes with a minor. Disney, their grooming agenda. Who is Joe Gatt? Joe Gatt.
Actor?
Oh, I'm going to go look right now. Joe Gatt.
Joe Gatt, he was in Star Trek. If this is the same actor.
Joe Gatt. IMDb. He's a bald guy. Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones, Dumbo, Star Trek Into Darkness, Thor. He played the Frost Giant. Oh, shit. No, yeah, this guy's been in a bunch of stuff. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Born and raised in London, Gatt first got the acting bug in his Maltese parents' home. Sees Star Wars at age 8. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's in trouble. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's an open secret. I think it'll get blown open someday. Just think about all the kids, all the women, all the men who have been traumatized and fucked over, all for pretend. It's pretty fucking sick. It's not the honor Lord of the Rings. It's not to honor Lord of the Rings. Bilbo and Frodo's birthday is September 22nd. Yes, that would be the day. It's only 3 weeks later, but I think it's got something to do with it's coming out on a Sunday, right? So let me see. Still, do your premiere episode. You're absolutely right. On Bilbo and Frodo's birthday. That's when you do it. And then you can like do your weekly episodes on whatever day after that. You're fucking Amazon. You're $1 trillion company. You can do what you want. No, you picked the day of his fucking death. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's all I got to say. And by the way, the 22nd would be a Thursday. That's a perfect day to premiere your episode. Thursday's a good prime time slot. Some of the biggest shows used to be on Thursday. Magnum PI used to be on Thursday. The Cosby Show used to be on Thursday.
Yep.
Simon and Simon used to be on Thursday. Love Simon and Simon. It's a fucking good show.
September 2nd is a Friday.
It's a Friday. Oh, fuck. Really?
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus.
It'll probably release Friday morning at 3 o'clock.
Well, if they do like they used to, it'll be 9 o'clock Pacific time. So it'll be midnight for us. So it'll premiere at midnight. God damn it.
Man.
That makes a problem for me.
Well, looking forward to Saturday Night Tights. That'll be the that'll be the
What's the premiere date for House of the Dragon again? Hang on.
August 21st.
August 21st, which is just around my birthday. Very, very close to my birthday.
That's true.
We will be in Las Vegas. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Uh-oh.
Oopsie doopsie.
Wait, is that an official meetup? Is that an official meetup?
Yes, we're doing official meetup in Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
We're getting everything hammered down, but it's looking like the 17th through the 21st of August.
All right. Well,
same
I
place.
have to go then.
You got to go, Millennium Fandom Bar.
You got to, bro.
We're renting out the whole place.
Oh, wow. Was that place that you had before?
Yep.
That place looked amazing.
Yep.
Oh, God.
So we're doing it one day. We're renting out the whole place, and then we'll do like a little meetup on the weekend at a bar or something, or maybe even the same place, but it won't be ours. Like we'll be just hanging out.
We'll just hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
But the one day it's ours. Like you get drink tickets, all kinds of fun stuff. So, where was I? So what date is that? The 21st is what? What day? What day is the 21st?
Let me check it out.
Here, I can check it out too. That's important. Because I want to do behind the scenes.
The first of Monday. Oh, the 21st.
So it's a Sunday. So
Sunday.
So, yeah, I was gonna think if they have to put Game of Thrones out or a Game of Thrones show out on Sunday, so they're not really up against each other. They're days apart. And Friday's a terrible day to release your fucking show.
Friday.
People do it all the time, though. Remember, Friday used to be a broadcast dead spot. That's where they put X-Files, thinking it would fail. And it was successful despite it. And then they moved it to Sunday. Sunday's when all the good shit's on. Like I think Better Call Saul. Was it Breaking Bad on Sunday? Pretty sure.
I believe so.
Sopranos was on Sunday.
Walking Dead was on Sundays.
Yeah, Westworld was on Sundays. Game of Thrones obviously on Sundays. You know what show I'm pissed that they fucking canceled was Ash versus Evil Dead.
Oh, dude, I know. That was such a good show.
But thank you, Lady Gravemaster. I got to finish that, by the way. Bilbo Inferno's birthday is September 22nd, only 20 days after LOTR airs. If they wanted to honor Tolkien, they would have released it then. This is the point being made, that Lord of the Rings isn't Tolkien's anymore. Correct. It belongs to Bezos. Bezos wants it all. He wants that little trophy for his little fucking dick on his wall. And that's what he's going to do. And I can't believe we're relying on Warner Brothers from saving us from all this.
They're going to screw it up.
We'll save ourselves. We'll be like Layla and Moon Knight, and we'll save ourselves. We'll take our necklace off, and it will become a knife, and we'll defeat a bad guy who's a foot taller than us, called Amazon. And we just won't fucking watch. Yellow Spider-Man #1. Britler fan for $5 says on Mjolnir, it says, whoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. It doesn't say you get to commit identity theft. I absolutely agree. And what's funny is all you have to do is recycle a bunch of videos from 2017 to now who are saying the same thing in the comics going, no, like, give her a different name. Call her the Mighty fucking Jane. I don't give a shit. She's not Thor. And it's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. Viper Crest for 200 Norwegian krona. Hail. Thank you very much. Because I love what you all do and what you think about was positive taken by the first take of Dune. Yes, I think Dune, people like Dune. I
love Dune.
Mediocre on Dune. I was
love
very lukewarm on Dune. So
that's fine, Gary. I think the second movie, and I hope it happens, because I hear that there's issues with the financing at this point because of all the chaos happening at Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
that's right.
So they pushed it back. My understanding is they were going to start shooting, sooner rather than later. And now it's been pushed to the fall. I don't know. Could be a good thing. Who knows? I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of house cleaning that's happening at the moment.
Yeah. I think DC Comics is done. I think they're going to have just the basic stuff, but I think they are done. I mean, are we going to get a Ta-Nehisi Coates Jar Jar Abrams Black Superman movie? No,
I don't think that's. I don't think
that's going to happen.
No. Yeah, I think we'll. we'll have to see. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. This is Hollywood. I would say kind of look into Zaslav. Is that his name? Like, see what his interests are, who he donated to, stuff like that. That's how you can probably figure out which way the wind's going to blow with him. But apparently he's known for cutting the fat, basically. So God knows Warner Brothers could fucking use that, right? What we got here? Okay, this is, I don't even know what that is. I'm just going to say a Martian peso. Qui-Gon, because I don't know what that denomination is. So thank you for the 200 Martian pesos. Gary, have you ever read any comics about Lee Falk's The Phantom? The Phantom is quite a popular in the Nordics, Australia, and in India in the 90s. Keep up the great work. Cheers. And a fan from, it's India. Okay. Oh, hail from India. I'm going to review my first Indian movie tomorrow. Hope you're doing well over there. No, I'm not very familiar with The Phantom. I've read a couple of comics, but not a lot. Not a lot. I saw this terrible movie. Razor Fist, man. There's your guy. He knows The Phantom. Pretty cool character concept, though. I've always liked that. I like the pulpy guys. The pulpy guys are good.
Yeah.
That's where all the cool shit came from, by the way. It didn't come from the artsy-fartsy guys. It came from the pulpy. You know, like, there used to be manly men who did art. Did you know that? There used to be manly men, and it was balanced, right? So you'd have your little art school boy. Your little art school boy is very sensitive and painted with watercolors. And then you had your Robert E. Howards or your John Miliuses out there who would like to fucking ride motorcycles, do drugs, fucking shoot guns, and write stories. You know,
yep.
I like those guys. I think those guys told better stories because they did weirder shit. They went out and did stuff. Like, I got drunk. I shot some shit. I mean, that's what I want to hear about. E3 needs to move out of California if it wants a chance to survive. It's done. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. I'm sorry to say, yeah, it's been shut down as a convention. Didn't E3 go to Chicago for a couple years too? Was it always in California? I don't know. I always kind of ignored E3, to be honest with you, because I was a Comic-Con guy. Protege Music for $5. What happened with yesterday's Real BBC? I didn't get to watch to the end. As revealed that he's transgender. Transjenga. You always got to watch.
Beautiful and brave.
Beautiful and brave.
I was watching. They were having some weird tech. There was something wrong with YouTube yesterday. I don't know what happened. But
yeah, there was.
Yeah, I heard it. Like, what was going on?
Like, the app didn't even work on my. I have a Roku and a Apple TV, and it was something was up. Something was not working.
Yeah,
they made a change. It's a glitch.
It's a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, you couldn't see the back end. That's what she said. At all for a little while, but it turned out okay. It turned out okay. It did. All right, we gotta let these guys go. I gotta wrap things up. Shoot. I'll probably, because I was supposed to read the last ones from this one. I'm gonna have to add it to my recorded, really long super chat script. It's gonna come out Saturday. I'll be live tomorrow for Picard. I don't know why. So I want to punch myself in the balls.
Masochist.
Thanks everyone who left. Eric for $5. He says, R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried. Best Comic-Con location to attend. Ask Gordon Fiala. Well, I would say San Diego used to be the best. There was a time between, I would say, 1994 and 2007 that it was fucking awesome. It was a good time. I would say going to San Diego and hanging out with your friends could still be a lot of fun at Comic-Con, but the con itself, if you go there to buy comics or try to get into, it's a total pain in the ass, and it's not enjoyable. It's absolutely not enjoyable. I went there just to meet people, and I started, like, towards the end, I was going to the con for a couple of hours. And I used to be in there all 4 days, walking back and forth, looking at every fucking thing I could. We've got to get so frustrating in there. It is so fucking crowded. And there's so few comics, and the comics are expensive now. Everything's expensive. You know, it's just easier to get shit on eBay, and the thrill of the hunt is gone. So it got better just meeting. Like the last time I went, I met Jeremy. We went in the con for a couple hours. We did a meetup, ended up going to Disneyland and doing a bunch of other shit that had nothing to do with the con. So, and I had a great time.
It was like Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go to Star Trek convention. I just hung out and met people.
I don't think anybody. Fun. That's why we said, well, fuck it. We'll do it at the same time. And Star Trek convention's gone. Doesn't even matter anymore.
It's dead.
We'll just do it at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. The Star Trek Vegas used to be so fun. I went the last time I was there was for the 50th anniversary. I thought that was like, you know, that was cool. But like after, like, I don't know, like there's something about it. And Creation who puts that on, it's like, they're so, I don't know. I don't like the way they run it. You know,
they're dicks. They were fuck Creation. Fuck Creation. Yeah. Fuck every fucking con they do. One of those assholes came up and yelled at me when I'm fucking on a podcast, and I almost fucking got in that dude's face. I was like, I didn't want to get the Salty Nerd podcast were nice. I didn't want to get them kicked out of the con, or I would have fucking shouted that motherfucker. I mean, fuck you. What the fuck you think you're fucking? Go fuck yourself, punk. He came and yelled at us. I was like, what the fuck? I was just sitting there talking about like Star Trek. Chris, it's not your fault. Star Wars turned themselves into the best example of what not to do for everything, says 5 picoseconds for 10 Canadian pesos. You're absolutely right.
100% true.
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird because Gary, you went on that Star Trek Star Trek ride. It was like, you know, where you're on the bridge and you know what I'm talking about? The Star Trek Vegas, the hotel.
Star Trek experience.
It
was awesome. Yeah.
That thing was so cool. To me, that's like what the Star Wars Galactic Hotel should be, is a like experience like that. And I don't know. I don't care about the hotel. I think it's stupid, but like that thing was so fun. Then you went to the bar where they had people walking around in costume. It was amazing. You got like the Warp Core Breach, which was that giant punch bowl drink, blue alcoholic drink. It was the best. They had a great gift shop. You could buy Klingon ale. It was awesome. I bought
that would have been cool for Star Wars. You know, something like you could do like a Rebel Alliance. You join the Rebel Alliance, and like the opening area is a spaceport, and maybe it's like a cantina, and then you get on a spaceship, and then you fly to like a
cantina awesome. From Star Wars. Just make it. It's not fucking hard. It's really not hard. Make a little Hoth land, a little Tatooine land, a little fucking Ewok, make the kids do fucking Ewoks, whatever. It was so easy. Star Trek experience was great. You could have a Cardassian cooler. You could get assimilated by the Borg and Borg 4D. So awesome. It was fucking rad. And yeah, it's better than Galaxy's Edge. The most exciting thing I saw at Galaxy's Edge was a swarm of bees.
What a disaster.
Like we're walking through there. I live streamed that. I live streamed my walk through there. I'm like, there is nothing here, dude.
I watched it. I remember that. I was hoping to meet you down there, but you guys took off from San Diego.
Yeah, we did. Dude, there was 15 of us, and we all got in for free. Jeremy pulled it off. I don't know what the fuck he did, but like it was awesome. Used to be Cool Hand Luke for $20 says, thank you for the $20, sir. Says, Moon Knight is literally handcrafted for me. I love mythology, word. Oscar Isaac's acting, yeah. Action, mystery, yep. Love all that shit. I hate it. Fuck Disney. They make easy layup action scenes intolerable, and the CG says it's malpractice. It's malpractice. It is terrible. By the way, the fight scenes in it are a joke. It's terrible. It's like laughably bad. So yeah, be prepared to be bored this episode. Layla will lead Mark, a very confused Mark. Oh, Mark Spector doesn't know shit about archaeology or Egyptology at all, which is
you're just a kiosk worker then.
No, Mark. Yeah, Mark's just a mercenary. He's like supposed to be the main personality. Stephen Grant's the sensitive one, and then there's going to be one more who's going to be the murderous one. And if you've read the comic, you know which one it is already. What's a bigger clown show? Depp Heard defamation trial or an actual clown show? The Depp Heard defamation trial, because Heard made it a clown show because of the environment in Hollywood. It's ruined a man's career, right? So, but it's bigger than Johnny Depp. So, like it's a clown show because we all know, like, she's the bitch. She's the one who fucking hit Johnny. She's the one who's out there manipulating the media. She's the one pooping in fucking beds. She's the one rolling her eyes. Everybody knows she's guilty, and they're just playing along because of Me Too times up, which isn't even relevant anymore. We don't even know what a woman is anymore. Hollywood can't define a woman, so how can you define Me Too if you can't define a woman? Fucking morons. Yeah, it's a clown show. I hope both their careers are over after this. Just so you know, yeah, they're both fucked. Like, Johnny will probably get some independent roles. She'll be in porn. She'll be on OnlyFans. Probably make a lot of money, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, and I just felt gross. I felt like I don't need to know this much about these people. Yeah. I don't care. I think Johnny, for the most part, like, I'm sure he had his moments, but she seemed like she played him. It just,
and Johnny was a drug addict. She took advantage of a man with a disease that doesn't resolve him of responsibility if he ever hit her or anything. Of course not. That's not cool. But having been in toxic relationships like that, where the drug addiction is taken advantage of and gaslighting is it's easier. Manipulation is much easier when people are high. Their judgment is completely off, as some of you may know, and it's evil. It's evil and manipulative. It is not okay. Again, Johnny's responsible too. So is she. But she knew exactly what she was doing. Fuck her. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Guys, plug what you like. Thanks for being here. We'll start with Chris Gore.
I have a my website called filmthreat.com. If you like indie film, that's our focus. And on our YouTube channel, now we're getting a little bit more aggressive. We're doing a live stream tonight on the Film Threat YouTube channel, so look that up. Talking about Nick Cage's new movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh,
I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that at 7. We're doing a late night, what we call Hollywood on the Rocks. Then I've got a live stream Friday morning talking about whatever movies are opening that weekend, and I'll be on FNT.
Yes.
There you go.
Back on FNT.
So that'll be fun. And just look up Film Threat on everything, and I'm that Chris Gore on everything. So there you go. There's my plug.
Thanks,
buddy. Thank you for having me on, Gary. It's just a pleasure to be with you and Garrett and, shoot the shit.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Yeah. This is the first of many, folks. The first of many. And Quarter Black Garrett.
Hey, most important thing, that I'm doing right now is the Nerdrotic channel. I don't know if you guys know about this channel. It's a really great channel. It's run by a guy that's really smart. I think he has a comic book store, or he did at some point.
Perry's pretty smart.
But yeah, you should check it out. And also, I'm going to be on Adam Krigler's show tonight, doing 1/8 Wednesday, and then after that I'm going to have Epic Mike on my channel, and we're going to be talking about Tropic Thunder. So if you want to talk about that, that's what we're doing on my channel.
Classic.
And that's it.
Yeah, I love Tropic Thunder.
It's great.
So good.
Such a classic.
Once we can have a movie like Tropic Thunder again, we know balance has been achieved.
Yes.
Not for a long time, man. I think it's going to be a long time before we get a comedy like that again.
I agree.
It's going to be a while.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we got to keep fighting. That's why I got to keep doing this shit. Either until somebody replaces it with something or it gets changed. Don't know. I know one thing we're replacing: entertainment media. You're seeing things branch out. You got channels like Film Threat. You got channels like mine. You got channels like Geeks and Gamers, Heel versus Babyface. You got Mahler. You got Critical Drinker. Like, yeah, that's the entertainment media now. So that's where I go. And shit, even Emergency Awesome. Even when he doesn't admit that changing fucking gender is major.
It's a small change.
Wait, I haven't watched that channel in a long time. Has it changed? We used to watch it with Game of Thrones stuff.
He pretty much makes the same fucking content, but there was one point he was talking about Captain Marvel and Marvel, it's changing to net betting. And he basically said that the gender swap was just a minor. He called it a minor change. And I just thought I'm like, what? That's not a minor fucking change.
A minor change.
You don't have a dick anymore. You have like fallopian tubes and shit. Like that. No, that's a big change. Gender swapping, but apparently there's not supposed to be different. I'm confused. See, that's why like Doctor Who had to change because, you think about it. They changed the Doctor to a female, but she never really acted like a female. They made her a lesbian, which is great for gay representation, but for that woman doctor you were waiting for, well, most women are straight. So you didn't really represent most women. You finally made the Doctor into a woman, and he just was still into women. So that part, I would have better taste than he has. And, oh, dude. And by the way, they were mapping to it the whole time. That's what the actress said today. Thanks to Thundercat Ho for sending me that clip. So there's a clip from a BBC show where the actress from Yaz goes, oh, yeah, we were totally going for the lesbian thing the whole time. Yeah, we figured that. We watched the show.
We have eyeballs. Yeah,
it's too bad you weren't going through for the Doctor Who thing, though. Like, that would have been nice instead. So until next time, folks, there'll be a Super Chat Square Up in the next 72 hours. This will be part of it. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the Super Chats and donations. Thank you to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who spends time here and joins us and spends your valuable time. We do appreciate it. I'll be back with Garrett and Chris on Friday Night Tights at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 4:30 Eastern Time. And there'll be a lot to talk about. Until then, everybody have a great day. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Nerdrotic.com. Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.